Cortana, what is the meaning of life?
I've heard from a reliable source that the answer is 42.
That's right,
There's still
Cortana.
no word on what
The answer is 42. Why are you guys looking at me like that? Do you know what that's from? You should know what that's from.
I have no clue what that's
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Nope.
Douglas Adams. Classic. But anyway, everybody, this is Off the Mindcast with my good buddy Kevin.
I'm back.
And this is James. Hello, everybody. And
Hi.
as a regular crew now, we have Alex and Brendon.
Hi, guys.
Everybody.
Hi, I go by Al.
Oh, that's right.
Because the audience couldn't see, they both waved at the mic, so you all know.
We're still going on. We did. This is an audio podcast.
Are you sure this is not a camera?
We don't have that technology yet. We're not that advanced quite yet. We can only afford a microphone, not a video camera.
So, we our first of many weekly podcasts that
Yes.
we've changed up our routine a bit.
We had so much fun the last time that we want to do this weekly.
A lot less alcohol induced this time.
That's right.
So it's going to be 10% boring.
I don't like to feel like I got shot out of a cannon the next morning, so.
Why not? It's such a good feeling.
Oh, that's
I
awful.
had to call
Almost
out of work.
throwing up.
I had to call out of work. That was bad.
How'd you do? You were fine?
I was fine. I took some Tylenol,
Strictly
water, and that was
professional.
great.
I had a moment during the wrist video where I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Actually, we found a full shot by the computer.
That's right. I'll admit it. Hey, I had this feeling if I was at the tipping point of throwing up and I was still at the ledge, I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to throw up.
What do you mean we found a full shot? If I found a full shot, there wouldn't have been a full shot left.
I did try to keep it for the next morning. I was like, nah.
I sat in the fridge a few days and then just in the shot glass. It was just like, maybe. Every time I saw it, my stomach went, ugh.
Who ended up drinking it?
No, no one did.
Who
I
was
think did, yeah. Sorry, guys. It was a little waste, but we had a great time. That was a great night, and it started the trend of doing weekly videos. And we're looking forward to it. So let's kick it off. What have you been doing, Kev?
I edited.
We've been editing a lot.
I'm sorry, guys.
We like to use a lot of bad words, and sometimes
We got carried away last week. I've been still enjoying Witcher. I don't think we had a goal for the month of February to get through the entire game of Witcher.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
It's nice cool.
I haven't even made it past the first territory.
No, you haven't.
We're up to part 8.
I've still played more of the game than you have. And that's not saying much.
Because there's just so much going on in the game, and you got to learn the whole. It's like for you, it'd be like Mass Effect 1, where you got to learn everything before you go on to know what you're doing, what you're fighting for, and all that stuff. You can't just go onto the story numb to the. You can't be numb to the story for you to go through that game. Like you got to know what you're doing to enjoy it.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of characters need to know their connections to, and it's a lot like Game of Thrones. It's very complex, and there's a lot of strings connected to different strings. So.
Yep, and we also survived another week of True Achievement.
Yay!
True Achievement Achievement Challenge. So that's all I'll say about that because we're gonna have a quarterly podcast about it.
Yeah.
But there's a weekly cut of teams, so I figured I would just mention it probably every week just so everyone know we're still alive
Still in it.
or dead.
1 month down, and we're still in. 11 to go.
Yep. What have y'all been doing, Alex?
I've just been working. I went kayaking the other day. Thanks
Nice.
for letting me use your kayak,
In
Kevin.
sunny
It was
Southwest
a good day.
Florida.
Yeah, it was a very beautiful day. And that's just that.
You work out.
Yeah. Oh, Thanks for bringing that up. I finally met my goal that I've been working on for 2 years.
Wow.
Because I'm a beast.
What's that goal?
I burned 600 calories in under 30 minutes, and I did it with ease and with sore legs.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do 700 calories under 30 minutes within a couple of months.
Very nice.
But that's just me, nobody else, because I'm superhuman.
Very modest.
Only a certain hike through a certain mountain might put that to the test.
Which we do need to talk about, guys.
Yes.
Because that's coming up fast.
What are you guys talking about?
Our hike in the Appalachian Mountains,
Oh, wow.
which is a little over a month away.
Whew, man. I need to get some supplies.
Yeah, I need to just get into shape. It's gonna be
we got this.
Yeah. Beer and podcast.
That's
beer
all we
podcast.
need.
That's all we need. We just need the encouragement. We need to build up our self-esteem a bit. That's it.
About me, I'm fine.
Liquid
Yeah,
courage.
Al's halfway there.
If there's any bears, I'll rip them apart with my bare hands.
All right.
Your bare arms?
Or I might get a gun. You can't take a rifle, you need a handgun to shoot down a bear.
The judge. That's what kind of pistol I would get.
Or maybe just like meet a bear in a back alley like in Batman. And, bears leaving a show and two parents are there with the little bear son. Shoot the two bears and take their honey and leave the son. And then there could be like the superhero called Bear Man.
Wait, no, wouldn't it be Bat Bear?
I don't know. Maybe because bears like to live in caves, from what I hear. You're right. You're right. Depends on the bear, though. There's a lot of different kinds of bears out there.
True. Could be brown Bat Bear.
Or like,
Brown bat. What?
or like the Kodiak brown bat bear.
Yes.
Or the polar bear. If there's ever going to be any left, because everything's melting anymore.
It's true. Yep. Global warming.
Yeah.
Brendon, what have you been doing? We've kind of got off topic there.
Yeah. Well, this past weekend was Valentine's Day.
Oh.
So
Oh.
that took up a lot of my past week.
Thanks for bringing that up.
I'm sorry, guys. I had my first Valentine's Day with my girlfriend.
Oh,
it
nice.
was
Congrats.
a very good weekend.
Very nice.
Aw.
Other than that, I've been doing a lot of fishing and watching House of Cards.
Whoa.
Because Kevin actually texted me saying that it was on Netflix,
Uh-huh.
but it was taken down right away. So my hopes were crushed. So
He was
I've been
talking about it.
rewatching
I'm like, bro, it's already been taken down.
right away.
Yeah.
But rewatching it.
No, that's
What's
someone.
going on right now?
No, that's
What's
someone
going
else's
on?
phone. You did.
But that's about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Getting ready for the new season of House of Cards.
I am very excited about this. So, are you all caught up?
I'm caught up completely.
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm actually
Alex,
rewatching
you watched it.
Yeah, man. Been
Okay.
caught up for a year now, waiting for it.
Yep. I was sick last year, and I decided to watch House of Cards, and I blew through those 2 seasons right away. I loved it. It's a great
What's
show.
really good about House of Cards because everything leads to something else. Like every move he makes,
It brings
it
the
brings
next step.
next step, and he's just building hence House of Cards. But
It's-
rewatching the show, you see a lot of things that you miss, you don't realize that are going on, and it's really
Like
interesting.
what?
Well, off the top of my head, it's really hard to think of any. As I'm watching it,
Did you
as
catch?
I'm watching
Did
it,
you catch where he pushed that chick, the reporter chick, his side chick,
into the
into
train.
a subway?
I did catch that.
Okay,
I
that
could
was-
see that,
that
the
was a
first
big
time.
deal.
That was
That's
a very
very
solid. That was a really good deal. That actually
Did you
happened.
catch
Wait,
that
you-
bodyguard of his smooching around with him and his wife? Did you catch that?
I did.
I didn't I couldn't believe that happened. Did you catch?
Oh my goodness! All right, so yes,
Well-
House of Cards is a great show.
It's little things. Like
It's very little things, yes.
when the girl that attended Stanford goes to Claire's office and she sees the pictures on the wall, and you see how everything's being built. Everything kind of comes together. And when you're originally watching it, you don't see how the photographer is going to play into the whole series at that moment.
Yeah.
But when you're watching that third or fourth
Bring back
episode,
those
you do
characters.
see it, and it's just like, oh wow, you see how they kind of were building, and you didn't even notice these things originally, which is it's fun to watch.
I definitely noticed that show where it introduces the characters in small ways, and then they become big characters.
Yeah.
Like the main villain of the second season, I forget his name. 'Cause it's been a while since I've seen it, but he seemed like a very small character at first. The guy in the goatee, the older man, the behind the scenes money man.
Oh, the money man, the
Yeah.
guy who funds.
Come on, Kevin, you know his name.
What's his
Funds the
name?
Chinese.
He's the one with the nuclear power. The nuclear
Yeah.
power.
Yeah. We forget his name. It's
The
been-
guy's name, the
Birch. Is it Birch?
I want to say, yeah, that sounds about right.
Birch Burke. The guy's the president's go-to guy, other than
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
That's right. Yeah,
His
money
name
man.
is escaping me right now.
But like how it seemed like they introduced him in a small way, but then he became such a big
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what like really impressed me about the show.
and now Underwood's president. What's up?
I guess that's what
I mean,
happened.
That's he's about to be. Was he sworn in at the end of the last one, or was
Yep.
he just walking up for him to be? sworn?
He knocked on the desk, man.
He knocked on the desk.
Yeah.
I think he was. Yeah, he went into the Oval Office and
Without a
everything.
vote
yeah,
being
yeah.
cast. That's what the little things are saying these days.
And Twitter, when they posted the season early on accident, that little glitch, the Twitter account did actually go on and said, "There's always leaks, but please, you're going to have to wait till February."
Oh, yeah. That
There was
was
something
good.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I watched a really good movie recently that I'm going to bring up during my pick. But,
Was it The Big Lebowski?
It was not The Big Lebowski.
No.
I've already seen that movie.
Was it The Jerk?
No, big Steve Martin fan, Al. Yes.
Oh, I am. I love
Yeah.
Steve Martin. That's fine.
But I'll bring up the movie
Man.
later. One of the TV shows that I watched was actually something that you brought up, Black Mirror. I watched the first episode, and I was really impressed. That really kind of blew me away. It's a 42-minute episode, but it told so much story. It felt like a 3-hour story. It was
Which one was the first one?
it was the Prime Minister is under threat by what quote unquote a terrorist. The terrorist captured the princess of Great Britain.
Super Mario?
No, not Princess Peach. And
Toadstool.
yes. The terrorist is threatening to kill the princess. It sounds so silly, but that's how they refer to her. Is a princess. Unless the prime minister has intercourse with a pig on live television.
Is this some Disney story?
No, it's true. It's live action, and what's really interesting about this threat is he posts the threat video on the internet and it goes viral way before the government can shut down the video. So everyone knows about the video and what the prime minister has to do. And for this little season, this little TV show that it's only going to be focused, this little story focused on one episode, to tell the story, it may be connected to these characters in a way that I was not expecting. And it was a great story. I highly recommend it. Thank you for bringing attention to it. I had it in my queue, and I'm like, all right, I'll get to this eventually. And with you recommending it, I was like, let's give this a shot. I was blown away.
Yep,
So-
definitely worthwhile. And you've only seen the first episode?
Well, I saw the first episode. I watched part of the second episode, and I fell asleep just because it was at nighttime, and I tend to do that. But I'm definitely looking forward to watching more of Black Mirror. Highly recommend to anyone else that likes a good TV show.
Kevin, have you looked up that name yet?
I'm looking through the casting crew right now. Stamper wasn't the guy. Stamper was the
Second season.
Chief of staff.
Yeah, second season.
So, yeah, I say 'cause it's listing all kinds of other people before him, so it's not really. Well, are you sure? There's Doug Stamper.
Stamper is the chief.
That's his-
That's his like his.
That's who you're talking about, right? His handler, the guy who took care of it.
No, man.
For the president.
Oh, the guy who was
Yeah.
okay.
President's crony.
He was a big time actor. He was in an old TV show, an old sitcom.
Editing.
That guy.
Editing.
Gerald McRaney, he played Raymond Tux.
Tusk.
Oh, Tusk. Gotcha.
Yes.
The billionaire.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. Money Man.
Yes.
That's what Fractal Minds refer to as billionaires, is Money Man. Money Man.
What do we refer to as money makers, guys?
I don't got anything for that.
That's
That's not, there you go. I was like an open forum question. That wasn't a joke or anything. That was like playing a joke. That was an open discussion.
Strippers.
Money makers, Apple, they were known to print money with their Apple devices.
You're right.
Nintendo, they just basically print money with their consoles that come out. The 3DS, that just made money for them. And the Wii, remember that? I was
those
in.
are big money makers.
Yes, I
The
was.
Wii was a huge one.
The Wii was huge. I used to
GameCube,
work
not
at
so
GameStop. Oh, GameCube was not.
I had a GameCube.
I did
I
too.
loved it.
Oh yeah, it's
I made
it was
the
a
most
good
of it.
console. What was it?
So I made the most of that console.
Oh really?
Had to
I
make it.
kind of fell flat with it. I had Super Smash Brothers. I had No More Heroes. That was good. Super Mario Galaxy. No, wait, that was on GameCube. Say GameCube stuff.
Being Nintendo fans, you guys ever play Harvest Moon, that little farming game?
I've talked to him about this. You know, a lot of my past memories from listening to Modest Mouse, I listened to Modest Mouse as I played Harvest Moon.
Really? Yeah. Everybody loves Harvest Moon. It was like the original Farmville.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
except better.
Way better. Yeah, because actually you did stuff instead of just click buttons and say, yes, I want this to happen. You actually
upgrade your hose.
That's right.
Those crops, those were money makers.
That's right.
Oh,
very good.
Bringing it together.
Did you make some carrots? Like, what was your crop? What was your go-to crop?
Man, the go-to crop was corn.
Oh, okay.
Corn was always good.
Ethanol?
Potatoes for me.
Oh.
Strawberry. Oh, the strawberries. That was 500.
Oh, strawberries.
Yeah, the strawberries, y'all.
Well, Kevin, you mentioned Modest Mouse there. You know they have a new record coming out, right?
I've heard.
Yeah, the record's called Strangers to Ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And a few days ago on Reddit, they released a new song. It was really cool. They just posted on Reddit, hey, at 5 p.m. something cool's going to happen.
All right.
And they ended up posting a song, and they launched it through Reddit. So that was
That's pretty cool.
The song is called The Ground Walks with Time in a Box. And so far, it's a pretty different song from what they released from the other songs on the record. I'm liking it a lot. 6-minute song, pretty cool. A little dancey, got some dance parts to it.
Very nice.
Mixed up the structure halfway through. Played it for you guys.
You want to know what my favorite song by Modest Mouse is?
I do. I'm going to guess Float On.
Nope, The World at Large. Oh, you thought I was a basic dude, man.
I'm sorry. I took a swing and I missed. I'm sorry.
Jeez. And I ducked.
That's right. What's your favorite song by them, Kevin?
Mine would actually be Ocean Breathe Salty.
Oh, okay, so you had the first song on the record, you had the second song on the record, I guess the third song on the record. The Good Times Are Killing Me. Good News for Bad News. That's what I was thinking of.
Why don't you just introduce me to, I keep messing up the title. King Rat or
King Rat?
King Rat.
Yep,
Yeah, that one.
That's a great song.
That one's been very interesting.
Bukowski.
That's, another on that record. Great song. My favorite song from that record, I forget. Man, that's actually a good one. Damn. I'm going to go with Black Cadillacs. That's a good one. That's near towards the end.
Okay, I'm lost now, guys.
You're not too cultured with Modest Mouse?
No.
I dig the Modest Mouse. I got into them a while
Good
ago.
listen.
And yeah, definitely a good listen. We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank. I like that record a lot. I know you never heard of it, but
Too much death.
too many words. Yeah, yeah. There's some death in there, but overall, the music is just way different than what I hear from most people, especially his vocal style. And the way that he writes his lyrics, it's a lot different than what other people have.
When you pulled up the song earlier, I saw
Yeah.
that they had compared it to Talking Heads.
Yes.
The new album, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Talking Heads, that's a
They've been
lot
around.
different. They've been around for a long time. It's a lot different than what you'd expect out of Modest Mouse.
Sure. Well, they have a pretty wide span of what they do with their songs. Like, that's what's really cool about their records is you have their singles, Float On and Dashboard, and they're good songs. They're your typical single songs, but then they have these songs like The Stars Are Projections where it's an 8-minute song and most of it is not vocals. Like, it's very...
Kind of like Tool.
Sure, yeah.
Tool
It's
has
very
13-minute songs.
Yeah.
BTW.
Yeah, it creates an environment.
No Effects with the
Musical
18-minute song. Yeah, I mean, there's. It's great to have those long songs, and I like when the band experiments. So yeah, definitely a lot of Talking Heads.
That's how they make good
inspiration.
music. They experiment.
That's right. You gotta mix it up a little bit.
Mix it up.
Throw some strawberries in there. Throw some bananas.
Stir it up.
So, who's been listening to some other music? What's going on with anything going on?
So Taylor Swift has been really blowing up my car radio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, through the little pop stations. What's that most current song she has?
I
Is
have no idea.
We Never Go Out of Style, something
Sure,
like that.
that's
You
great.
guys know that, right?
I know that song.
Yeah,
You
Kevin
know
does.
that song. I don't like. I've listened to Taylor Swift songs mostly through work.
Did you say Terrace? It's Taylor Swift.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm
You've been
sorry.
watching too much.
I'm just thinking about how he feels when he hears her on the radio.
That's right.
Terrorists.
A terrorist Swift
Taylor
now.
Swift is
Gotcha.
her early stuff is pretty good. I cannot name a single one of her songs right now, though. I just
The ocean breathes salty.
No. You gotta give her some credit though. She writes her own music.
yes, I do like.
She
that.
gets up there. She does her own thing.
Mhm.
A lot of country music. It's just you have.
There's
some
no country
writing the
music anymore. Are you kidding me? There's not.
There's a big pop direction in
There's
country music.
There's a huge
going
pop
along.
direction, but there's a lot of
It's
southern
composers.
independent rock
What? It is.
that you'd say is could say it's country
Taylor
music.
Swift is not Leonard Skinner.
Oh
No,
no, by no
no.
means.
She is not Honky Tonk.
I think Taylor
No,
Swift.
no,
even
no.
this new album, she calls it pop. It's not even.
She's a
country
pop
album.
artist now. There's
Yeah, it's not a
really
country album at all. It's not country.
No.
Yeah, so other than Taylor Swift, I really haven't heard anything new from Ariana Grande, as I'd like to call her.
That's a great song. That's my favorite CZ Top song. Did you say El Grande?
No,
Oh.
no, I said this one pop performer's name. And nothing else by Selena Gomez. I haven't heard anything new by the Biebs.
He was he was on Saturday Night Live. I mistook.
He was roasted.
Yeah.
Recently.
That's the next Comedy Central roast. Justin Bieber. David
That
Nash.
should be good.
Yeah, that's.
You
I
look
just
a
hate
little
like
like Justin Bieber right now.
Because
Not gonna lie,
at the
your
end
hat.
of it, he's supposed to
Bieber.
roast them. Like it's just gonna be embarrassing. I'm gonna be embarrassed for him. I don't think he's gonna be able. He's gonna have writers. He's gonna hire writers. That's the only way I see him coming up with any good
material.
comedic material at the end there.
He's gonna act tough, and everyone's going, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, I know.
he's so funny."
Just I don't really like the roasts anymore because they're a
No.
bunch of nihilists. When you think about it.
When you think about it.
You know, there was the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Live was just recently.
Yeah.
And they had a Celebrity Jeopardy, and they had someone playing.
Burt Reynolds and it was Norm Macdonald.
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah.
Because I didn't watch it. I would just assume
He was-
if you're going to have two characters for Celebrity Jeopardy, you better have Sean Connery,
Mhm.
played by Daryl Hammond,
Mm-hmm.
and Norm Macdonald
Turd
playing
Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
And of course
Anybody
they
else?
did,
That's
yeah.
cool.
They,
You know,
Will
Matt-
Ferrell, of course, is still the head,
playing Alex Trebek, and then or Al Trebek, as I like to call him. And then I think one of the greatest like middle people that they ever had was like Matthew Perry. Somebody
he's-
trying to play Matthew Perry,
Okay.
like from Friends.
Yeah.
I think we brought Friends up in the last podcast.
They got,
with it starting murder in all these sitcoms. I don't know. Something
They
like
had
that.
a revolving second person in there because they had Sean Connery, they had Burt Reynolds, then they had some revolving cast.
They had someone playing Justin Bieber, which is why that was the whole reason for the transition. Because they actually had someone playing Justin Bieber.
Now it comes full circle again. How about that?
And they had at the very beginning, the introduction, they had all these people, all these memorable people, and for some reason, like they have some good ideas for Saturday Night Live, and then for some reason, during all these people, it started off with Steve Martin.
Stephen Martin. No,
It has to be Steve Martin,
So
yeah.
Tom Hanks and
Yeah, and all kinds of people that you know. Oh, I remember this program. And then Miley Cyrus. Why is she in there? Like, she's not memorable cast member. Like, they had...
her voice doesn't sound good.
No, she's... No.
She has that raw chicken ass going
Yeah.
on too. That's not cool.
She has this weird top on too.
Speaking of Miley Cyrus, I read recently she just entered a film into a porn festival.
Nice.
A bondage.
Bondage,
fest.
porn and
Oh.
bondage festival. I think it's a short film, and she's the star.
Well, I hope it's short because I only want to watch that for 4 minutes. There's only so much bondage of Miley that I could take.
Like her being tied up to a like rock, being
And
put in a
so-
catapult, like launched off a cliff.
I'll watch that.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah,
because you
definitely.
know she won't be coming back from that.
Like a wrecking ball?
No, it's not a wrecking ball. It's just a ball being lunged in the
There you
air.
No chain attached. Just let it go. Just...
That's right.
I hope
Boom. Into the ocean.
There you go.
I
Did
finished
you-
a book recently.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I read a book. It's by Andrew Main, one of the musicians / podcasters that I like to watch and listen to. The book's called The Grendel's Shadow. Started a character called Westwood that was kind of like Indiana Jones monster killer. And it's set in a world where they can go to different planets and face all these different monsters. And it's a cool little book. It was on Kindle for $1. Can't go wrong with a book.
Obviously, it's not nonfiction because we don't have any data backing up monsters in certain worlds that they're in.
I think there's some evidence for it lately.
They're out there, Alex.
They are out there.
They're out there.
Oh. No, they're
Just
not.
like-
I used to read books here and there. I hate reading anymore. It's
Really?
just a waste of my time. I'd just rather watch the movie if there's a good movie about a book.
Just
Yeah.
like you spending so much time to hunt down Sasquatch in Grand Theft Auto 5.
I didn't spend so much time, Kevin. I'm sure.
You had 100% complete the game to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I wanted
How'd it
to
feel?
get that done. It felt great once it was done. Just like it felt great when I got my 600 calories under my 30 minutes working out.
Throw that in her face.
Yeah, because, I do other things than read and listen to Miley Cyrus.
Excuse me, I was jogging while reading. Thank you very much.
Really?
No. I was sitting in the lobby waiting for my car to get fixed.
You guys ain't gonna get abs reading, all right?
Bro, I do L-sits. What are you talking about? That's all the ab work I need.
I don't have abs, so I shouldn't say anything, but,
How's your abs looking, Brendon?
Yeah,
They're not there. They're
Not
not
there?
there.
Oh man, do L-sits. You'll get them.
It's like these people with abs, I think they're lying to us, because
They just draw
I've done what I could. There's really not much more I can do.
You add weight to your chest? Like, put some, put weights there and do sit-ups or whatever?
No, there's nothing else I can do. I've been eating healthy, eating salads, drinking the right
Eating
kind of
won't give you
stuff.
six-packs. You gotta do certain forms of ab workouts.
I just need to
That sounds like a
keep
lot of
a
work.
heat lamp on my stomach and burn, gradually, slow roast the fat away.
I think that works.
Some
Yeah.
seasoning.
Science has proven
Sit
that.
you in the smoker.
Yeah, I can just be...
Marinate the smoker.
Whatever, Hitler. I know what your point is.
And the Hitler reference has come out.
Oh,
Put your finger up
there. I actually got hair, facial hair ups in her.
Yes. No, we need to. No, I think he needs. Wait, which one said Hitler first?
He's the one mentioned me in the smoker.
Yeah, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
So I feel like
I did something that no one could
somewhere.
see or no one could hear.
We
He's
have
the
a-
one who said it.
We have a new rule of Fractal Minds during the podcast. If anyone says anything that is not dubbed worthy of being aired on the radio, we will shoot that person
With a Nerf gun.
with a Nerf gun, of course.
We bear arms. We don't care. It's our constitutional
Do we have
right.
an open carry in Florida?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Do we have
You have the right to bear arms.
Yeah, of course we do. No, we have concealed weapons.
Yeah.
License.
This ain't, Jesus, I was getting ready to die.
At the end of the day, who's really the police around here? It's us. We're the police. We need to be protecting ourselves.
All right, we're getting to a little political corner. Do we want to start this shit?
Before I get into
I just
that,
want to. Oh, go ahead.
No, let Kevin go. Let Kevin go.
why do you have to? You keep pointing that gun at me, Brendon.
We need to put the
I'm
gun
calling
away.
it. If I show up dead beside you somewhere, everyone's going to hear
We
about
got a
this.
little trigger happy.
Death from a million Nerf wounds.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, you asked me earlier what I've been listening to lately. I haven't been listening to anything new,
Okay.
but Fleetwood Mac,
Ooh.
original Fleetwood Mac with Peter Green,
Oh, old school.
amazing, very old school,
Okay.
60s,
Wow.
the best blues rock
See,
I've ever heard.
I fell in love with Rumors. Their album Rumors.
Yeah.
I love
The chains on it.
Oh, the chain. That's
I
such-
recently, actually, for Valentine's Day,
Oh,
I got
no.
a poster,
Oh.
Rumors original from 1976 is when the
Wow.
album came
Did
out.
you get it for
Great.
yourself?
That's amazing.
We don't have to go there. No,
That,
It was good.
that would make my penis sweat.
it's pretty amazing. But yeah, Rumors is an amazing album.
Yes. So you like the early stuff?
Yeah, the early stuff, Peter Green.
Tired of
yeah,
picking up
great.
your wet panties from the laundry room.
Well, I just hear about the framing of this poster and we got all excited.
You can't handle another Nerf bullet to the eye. That one hurt.
That looked like it was in the ear.
Yeah,
So cool, man.
I'm taking that gun.
Happy to hear that you support the Fleetwood. I bought their vinyl. I got the Rumors on vinyl.
Awesome.
There was a special 35th anniversary a couple years ago. Right as I was falling over this, okay, well,
Don't you have
this
two-
is fake.
And what about
Two vinyls
Fleetwood
right
Mac?
there.
Yes, I got Green Horns. I Want More. I only got the one vinyl. That's a wood print.
Oh, gotcha.
Where the rumor is the lead singer was Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks and wow, why am I blinking? Nancy Buckingham. Lindsay
Buckingham,
yes, Lindsay Buckingham.
I
So
was gonna say
they work very well together, and then they have the keyboardist. She did a couple songs, but we only talked about Christy. She left with the group a while ago, and then came back. But her songs suck.
I always like the Steve Miller Band more than I like Fleetwood Mac.
I like
Back when I was living, I forget where in the 60s/70s, I really liked listening to.
Al is 42 years old, by the way.
Yeah. I really like listening to Abracadabra and Fly Like an Eagle. Those are my
Fly Like an Eagle's
joints
good.
I've listened to.
I haven't delved too deep into the Steve Miller Band. You like him? Like him a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah?
F yes. Are you kidding me?
Huh. Yeah, just they never really stuck with me. I like a couple
Really?
of songs, but
Really? Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, you recommend that one?
It's going to reach out and grab you.
Alright, I'll have to check that out.
Since we're back on the topic of music, there was something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Bring it up, Kevin.
Kevin's Corner.
What did you think of the new Imagine Dragon album?
Oh!
Bring that up.
Well, I got 3/4 into it until these knuckleheads came home, and it's alright. I never listened to the first album, I forget what it was called, but it had Radioactive on it, and there's a version of Radioactive that I like that you
Yep.
turned me on to.
It was a live version of it where they actually played instruments.
Yeah, it's very rocky. They got
Yep.
a drummer to do a cool solo
Yep.
during it.
The
There
drum
were actually a
solo-
couple
there was a
drums.
couple drum solos.
drum
This is
sets,
friggin'
yeah.
awesome.
So that was cool. But then listening to this new album, Smoke Plus Mirrors, and it's definitely still more electronic pop music. But like I was giving it a fair shot, and listening to it, it just stayed in the same level. Like every song eventually just kept becoming a copy, and I just wasn't digging it. Nothing was coming to me.
It's generic unto itself.
Yeah, pretty
Wow.
much.
That's
yeah.
sad.
I
That's
really
very
was giving it a
sad.
fair shot, but just nothing really came out. And
You can tell one of the songs is like another hype song, like Radioactive was. Like it
Mm.
was like it was one of the songs that I don't
That
know.
was an awful song. I have no idea why that was on the.
Yeah, I didn't care for Radioactive either.
But,
Yeah.
well, like I said, the live version of
the
it.
live
is
version's pretty cool.
Live version.
friggin'
It-
amazing. I'll show it to you.
It
after the
works.
podcast.
Like it's still the same song, but more of that rock feeling to it.
Yeah.
So it did give some life to the song.
And just like you can tell, there's like just seeing him, like there was the actual drummer, and there's him doing his own drum. There's like I don't know 4 or 5 drums in there. Like people just playing all over the place, but it's just seeing them. Like you can feel the passion in that song. It just comes off more real. Like, and that's just what I think we all have the same issue with is listening to people play electronic music, and just there's no feeling to it. It's just it's just and they have writers and. We've talked about it before.
We
on this
we
podcast,
watched
but
Trent Reznor play electronic music, and you weren't all upset about it.
We watched
He-
Trent Reznor. What, huh?
Why?
From 9 Inch Nails.
Oh well, I mean,
His
he has
music's- he's got soul though. Like that's the thing that
He's
I
got
find.
soul with his ever since 1985. Yeah.
I'm not talking that kind of soul. I'm talking like he lives in music.
He's not sitting there holding just a mic. He's actually playing an instrument.
Well, I mean, that you can be a singer too. I mean, singers also have their right of being
Comedians
musicians.
hold mic and play music too,
Some good ones do.
and they're much better than
Stephen Lynch.
Imagine Dragons.
Fly the Conchords, great comedy musicians.
If I knew we were going to go on the subject, there's one I can think of right at the top of my head. He sings he plays a piano. He's a very funny comedian who plays. Not that one.
Damn it.
He's a redhead, and he's from Europe.
I know who you're talking about.
I really don't know who you're talking about.
He-
I know pretty much every comedy.
He actually makes a song, one of the song's titles, which I was debating whether to play or not.
It's not Reno Collier because
Nope.
he's like from down south.
As we're talking, I'll look it up. But no, one of his songs is actually called "Prejudiced," and at the very beginning of it, you think he's talking about the common prejudices, but then because it's comedy, like halfway through the song, the punchline happens, and everyone's laughing, and then he continues the song. Like I said, I'll play that song too after the podcast. But I can just look up Prejudice and I'll find out.
Well, the best musician / comedian that plays electronic music, even,
Okay.
or he can play the piano. He can do whatever. Is Bo Burnham.
Of course.
This guy is like, from what I've seen in comedy, as next level as you could ever
Yes.
see
Exactly.
in a show. He's the best. He's truly is the best, far and away.
So this redhead.
Tim Minchin.
Yeah, I've
He
never
is
heard of the
hysterical.
guy.
He is hysterical.
It's funny that you mention him because I've never heard of him.
I was gonna guess Carrot Top.
Nah,
I've seen Carrot Top before.
He's now a musclehead.
Oh yeah, he is jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can't burn 600 calories in 30 minutes, or his heart will explode.
Is that a
from all
challenge?
the
Are you
steroids.
an open invitation to Carrot Top?
Alex,
Hey, anybody that wants to try to burn as many calories as me in 30 minutes, have at it.
Shit's getting
fractal
real.
challenge. Alex challenging.
The fractal challenge.
Oh, that'd be good. Can we do that?
Carrot Top. We're
Whoever
talking
wants to challenge
well,
our Fernell.
Hashtag Carrot Top or
Yeah.
tag him when we
This
post it on
is it.
Twitter.
You're on Twitter, yeah.
Oh, hey, whatever.
Let's make this a
I'll
thing.
do it. If I could be right up there with Carrot Top, everything's set.
There are Olympic athletes, but no, you're
There's those Olympic athletes like if we could get both Bruce Jenner and Carrot Top at the same time, oh, that'd be great.
Speaking of people who run, Usain Bolt just retired.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
He just
retired.
got big.
Yeah, I know. He retired. Well, I guess I don't know. Maybe he's
Realize
just,
ahead.
yeah, I
Well,
guess,
while he's not in a scandal.
Yeah,
I guess.
true.
Yeah,
Well, now he's going to be in the after fame scandals.
probably.
Like 10
Lance
years down the
Armstrong.
line, he's going to be caught in a hotel snoring coke and
Well, that's
racing around the.
as long as it doesn't ruin the integrity of his awards, then
Oh, yes, of course.
that's his life choice. But people like Lance Armstrong, you know.
We tried getting him on camera running through the hotel lobby, but goddamn, the guy runs so fast. It's
so
a
fast.
blur.
Blur, yeah.
Yeah, coming from the elevator, like his wife, he was dragging his wife, but we couldn't tell if it was him or not because he ran so fast. It wasn't one of those Ray Rice incidents,
Supposedly.
or we knew it was him.
Allegedly.
That was a very good chick Rice had because she's like, no, there wasn't no big deal, nothing
A
happened.
regular family argument where he knocked her out. I mean, people have those domestic arguments all the time.
Not
That's
me,
a common thing, yeah.
not me. I just get a
You got-
divorce.
Real talk.
We went there.
I don't need to punch anybody. I don't need to kicking and screaming, nothing like that. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here.
So,
I fold.
do you want to...
No, of course not. That's enough. Let's move on.
Okay. Kevin, you found some interesting stories today. Do you want to talk about those?
Do you want to talk about
I want to talk about the Mars one.
Mars? Well, we'll talk about that first. There was a topic today. that I
Again,
heard.
about Mars?
Well, get this.
Again?
I didn't know about this. There's nothing.
100 people I heard are now
Yes.
about to be volunteered.
That's right, Al.
None of them are Bruno Mars.
That's right.
Private Mars One Colony Project cuts applicant pool to 100 volunteers.
Is this the second sequel to 50 Shades of Grey? And it's called Private Mars?
There you go. Private Mars. There you go.
Ooh.
Twist
sounds
ending
dirty.
involving Bruno Mars.
Ooh.
Basically, they knocked their candidates down to 100, 50 men, 50 women, and I guess it's going to be ready in
Equal opportunity.
2025 will be when they
Really?
launch these people.
2025?
It's
Wow,
2015
Yeah.
right now. I bet you we could get to Mars in 2020. I don't
But-
know what this extra 5-year BS is
Well,
all about.
They're prepping for a colony, right? Like, that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I
So-
think there's probably robots or something building the colony right now because they showed like.
Yeah, they got robots
There's
on there.
nothing. Yeah, there's just probes though.
But I saw like it's not on the Yahoo article, but on Facebook with the I can't think of the little clip of the Yahoo article. It showed these like 6 circular hemispheres or whatever. They're sitting
Biodomes.
Little, I guess biodomes.
Like,
there you
like
go.
the movie.
Oh, the great
Pauly
movie.
Shore.
Yes, they're not glass. They're all white though. You can't even see inside of them. So, but that's what it looks like it's going to be. They're
So
going to
you
be living
can't
on
see
Mars.
inside of them, huh?
Who's doing
Illuminati.
For hey,
This is NASA, right?
no,
Hey,
hey,
NASA.
that's
Is
going
it
to bring
European?
the Mile High Club to a whole new level.
Wait,
Oh,
they're in
First
Mars?
sex on Mars.
Oh, hell yeah. I want to do this. Let's make this happen.
I don't. You never know what you can catch, like in a foreign planet.
Oh, space STDs?
That's a whole new STD.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Martian STDs.
Or space transmitted diseaes. Yeah.
That's not good.
Who knows what could happen?
That brings
then?
a whole new meaning to asteroids.
It's like you could have that. Well, if you're into that kind of thing, I don't do that. That's not me.
Docking. Docking in the space.
Or what was the what was it? Alpha House. He and the guy's daughter. They call it marinating.
Marinating.
No, soaking.
Soaking.
The Mormons.
But I think
Mormons.
Yes, the Mormons.
Yeah.
It was soaking. Yes. We all
It's
know
just weird. They might actually do that. I don't know. I've actually met a very nice Mormon family on a cruise one time, and
Incorrect. There's no such thing.
they were just they all are very nice
Look what
Mormon
my cat
families.
says.
Met them. They were very cool. Very cool people. Like the Utah Jazz.
Sure.
I liked the Utah Jazz at that time because they had a pretty cool Russian basketball player named Andrei Kirilenko.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't be a big fan of the Jazz just because of that. But anyway, yeah, it's just they're very nice. They said they were Mormon. Like, watch out, we're considered terrorists because we're Mormon. Like, no, people understand you as the most harmless, gentle creatures in America.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they want to see that musical, The Book of Mormon.
You know what musical I'd like to see?
Which one? Cats.
No.
Phantom of the
I'm
Opera.
trying to think of it. Oh, if The Big Lebowski was a musical,
That would be
That would be
good.
an excellent.
It
That would be a great
amazing.
musical.
If they did like a Big Lebowski fest
They did!
and a musical at the same time, that would just be a revolution.
You know
in
about the
itself.
fest that I don't know if they
Yeah.
still do it, but...
Yeah, they do it here and
They
there,
still
but they
do
don't do it here.
No, they don't.
Sickos.
You would, would you go to that?
Why wouldn't I?
I'm just making sure.
I hear that there's this carpet that they piss on at the end of the festival. I want to piss on that
Oh,
carpet.
yeah. That'd be great. I would go to... okay. It's just like going to
Brendan,
a
you
festival.
were wanting to say something.
I can't remember what I was going to
Okay,
say.
Let's
Kevin.
just finish up on
Yeah,
the
let's
Mars.
finish the Mars thing. Let's go
thing.
back to Mars.
Just
Let's
so
bring up
just so y'all know what is involved with the next cut, because there's 50 men, 50 women, ranging from ages 19 to 60, which I'm sorry if you're on the 60 end, you're not making it, because by the time this project's done, you're going to be 70, and I don't think they're going to send a 70-year-old to Mars.
60 even seems old. Like,
Yeah.
Anything over 50,
So,
really.
so that being said, the remaining candidates will next participate in group challenges to demonstrate their ability to willingness to deal with the rigors of Mars life.
Cool.
After another round of cuts, the finalists will be divided into 4-person teams, which will train in a simulated red planet outpost.
Nice.
So they're actually, it's almost like this would be an actual interesting reality show.
Yes,
like
that'd be great.
but they're not showing it. It's just like, all right, they're doing all this stuff in house.
They
Like,
should get MTV involved.
yeah, for some reason on YouTube it says the Mars 100. It says trailer 3. Like there's actually a trailer for it.
Maybe.
I've almost got to figure out.
Maybe there's
Maybe they're
saying
making
Maybe they're going to document it.
now that's down
So
to 100 because it started off with 202,000.
I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
What I was asking earlier, who's putting this on? Is it the European Space Agency? Is it NASA? Is it a private company?
Let me see.
There's so many players in space now. You have the
There is.
Chinese, you have the Indians. I think the Brazilians have been sending
Is
rockets
Russia
into
still
space.
big?
I'll look. I'm
Russia,
gonna,
yeah, Russia's with the
How's
United
Russia
States.
and their space ventures there, Al?
They're doing a bunch of stuff in the little Kazakhstan area of their spaceport, and they're more concerned about trying to kill
What
as
if-
many Ukrainians as they can, and maybe try and find maybe new places to exploit.
Okay. So
What
not where.
Russia's focusing on.
Well, that's the ultimate thing, though, is new places to exploit. That's where space is. That's the whole new territory, a whole new game.
Actually, for a little bit, when we retired our space shuttle, we were using Russian rockets.
I think we still
in
might
order
be.
to get, we still might be. You might be right about that to get to the International Space Station. I don't know with what's going on with the Ukraine if we stop doing that, or maybe we fast tracked our own programs to get a new space shuttle in.
Yeah.
But Russia is right up there with the United
I
States.
think
in terms of
I think
space
more
program.
so now
That's what I
what we're
thought.
doing is using SpaceX.
Yes.
SpaceX.
Just as much as we
There's
can.
one other company, but SpaceX is the big one.
Yeah, SpaceX is such a
Speaking
big
of SpaceX, speaking of not Nicholas Tesla. Speaking of Tesla, I forget what the guy behind Tesla, Elon Musk. Speaking of Elon Musk, he's trying. No, it's not him. He has his own electric car.
Well,
Yada yada.
Yeah.
Apple is trying to do their own self-driving car now.
Really?
Yeah, Apple's
No,
trying to
Google.
get in the car business.
The
Wow.
cars have been sighted on the streets of San Francisco recently.
As apples?
Yep.
Oh,
they're,
wow.
they're not
I haven't
they're
heard
not
this.
advertising them as Apple cars.
Sure.
But
Prototype stages.
yeah,
Or...
prototype stages, and through people sort of looking into it
Okay.
and seeing where they're going, they found that they're probably Apple cars.
Wow.
They're not
That's
prototype.
big. Like, I have not heard of anything coming out of Apple beyond phones and
They
tablets.
have to do something. For the while
They
there,
have
they
to.
were the biggest innovator.
They were.
They came out with something new. I mean, they have the new iWatch coming out here.
Yes,
pretty
the
soon,
watches, yes.
which is going to be interesting to see how that goes. But
And they got a lot of money. And you're talking
Oh,
about
they
a
got
company
tons.
that has $400 of billions of dollars to do what they please
Sure.
with. And why not get into a transportation business?
I would love for them to. I think that's the best, the next
I just
big
want to
thing.
see. I just want to see vehicles fly.
Yes.
That's. I don't really care about self-driving vehicles. I just want to see them fly.
I
Because
think-
once vehicles fly, guess what? We don't need anymore.
Roads.
Don't need.
We're going.
We
We
don't
don't
need
need
those
roads.
effing county commissioners and politicians saying, "Wow, what about the roads? This guy doesn't build the roads as well as
Bridges.
I build the roads. We don't need them. Suck it.
That's
We
right.
don't need you. Suck it."
That's gonna be a big thing with the flying car, but I'm really, really interested in the self-driving car because no more accidents. There's going to
Oh,
be
there's always going to be accidents.
There's going to be a mess up with a sensor, like
No!
a vehicle.
There-
and
no,
all that.
that's not
it's going to
true.
careen
Oh,
into
it's gonna-
oncoming traffic.
it's going to
That's
happen.
not true.
It may happen at some point, but there are going to be far less accidents
far
with
less.
self-driving
It's
cars than
better
there
if
are now.
somebody's drunk and driving a self-driving car.
drink and drive.
Gonna be
Hey,
drunk-
or
be
you can drink
drunk
and
all
ride.
night.
Exactly.
We're fine.
How great is that going to be?
That's
But
going to
here's
put
the thing,
people out of
why-
the taxi business.
Well, it might
That's
put
gonna be-
individual car owners. We might not have individual car owners
Sure.
anymore because all you would need is a taxi service that drives around.
Yeah.
You'd have self-driving cars just roaming the streets at any given time, activate when you call it, come pick you up, and take you where you need to
They
be.
already have
Why
that
would
big-
you need to own a car?
No, they
Would
already
they-
have
You
that.
capitalists, listen up.
But would they? Because the same way they're trying to enforce, not really enforce, but they would really like to drive public transportation, and that's not really working too well. I mean, it works to a point, but
It works
like-
for certain cities.
Yeah,
it works for
it
New
does,
York,
but
it works
it's-
for Los
it's-
Angeles.
it's
I
like the same
hate
thing.
public
Time, you have to
transportation around
wait.
here.
But that's like the same thing.
You're
I mean,
waiting for
for
groups
You're
of
waiting.
people
It's
at a
just
time.
it's just a bus or a train that's on the same track constantly. You wait to get on, and you get off. And with self-driving vehicles, it's all going to be computerized, GPS. It's
Yeah.
all going to look at where people are.
Efficiency.
It's going to be extremely efficient, and there's going to be no tracks. You're going to be able to go wherever you want, when you want. It's going to be
You're
Safe.
thinking about it ideally, though. Nothing ever works out to its ideal.
This
potential.
is going to be something that takes forever to implement because you got to look at all the people that have cars that will not be willing to buy
Heck no.
the self-driving car.
Well, they say that a big thing they're going to do is they're going to be able to retrofit old cars with self-driving or
Really?
technology to make it self-driving.
Yeah, but they're going to have all these sensors that look so ungodly. It's going to look so bad that you're going to want to buy a new car just so you don't have these stupid sensors all over your car. Retrofit it. That looks so bad.
It's like your car's being tested, like
but
when
you
you're in a video game.
Yeah,
You got all the sensors on. That's what your car's gonna look like.
Exactly. But I am so excited about self-driving cars. I think Google, like what you said about having sensor failure, they've driven these cars over 500,000 miles at least by now. Like this is years ago that I've been following this. But they have not had a single accident that caused by these self-driving cars. They've had 2 fender benders, but that's about it.
Nice.
Nothing caused by the driver. There's other people that caused this to have accidents. So I have full trust in what Google's doing. I think they have good ambitions, and now that Apple's in the game, that will give competition. So very exciting.
And coming from someone who's more, I try to word this properly. I'm more in favor of our police officers and against, but that will stop them from having to worry so much about car-related
DUI checkpoints. That's gonna stop you from getting money.
Well, well,
That's
DUI
what it
checkpoints,
yeah.
suspended licenses,
Yeah.
speeding,
Speeding.
running stop signs.
Yep.
That's going to stop a lot of
that. So now they can focus on those things.
You guys are thinking it's gonna stop
Arresting
a lot of
innocent
that. Here's the thing: you're looking at something ideally and the potential of it. There's been a lot of breakthroughs where police can, not worry about so many things, but they still do. It's still a law. There's still a bunch of useless laws that the police still worry about.
It's because their laws are created so that they have something.
Yeah, exactly. So you're looking at this like, oh, if we had less of a police state because of all this, things would be so much easier on everybody. That's not the way it's going to be.
I was thinking more like safety as far as against murderers, rapists, that kind of thing. They'd be able to focus more.
Yeah,
on
yeah, you would hope so,
Yeah.
but no, they would rather focus on me having a headlight out.
But it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
But it doesn't matter. They still want to pull me over and give me the $100 ticket.
Yeah. He's riding in a car if it's self-driven.
Sure. You know that your self-driven car has a headlight out. I'm gonna have to citation
You need to recharge it.
$300 for that because it's a self-driving car. Check your privilege.
You see, you'd hope that with that much technology, that the self-driven car can tell you, like a little monitor, hey, your headlights.
Probably
Go ahead.
because you don't have control over the car anymore. The car has control over itself, so it would be the car's responsibility to tell you the light's out. And it might even shut down if it isn't. It might decide not to drive because it's unsafe to people that are on the sidewalk.
Will not turn on unless you replace it.
Because ultimately, you wouldn't need lights among other cars because cars wouldn't need to see you unless there are people still driving cars on the road.
I was thinking of a way that they can use more efficient ways of using the signals where you don't have headlights. You have something that's maybe solar powered that will do it for you. I don't know, like something that we can't even think of at this point.
Well, maybe even not even have the cars be illuminated, but the streets.
Yes! Oh my
Have you
goodness.
seen that?
Yes.
The illuminated
I think we
asphalt.
talked about that before.
It's pretty
Illuminati.
Yes.
Little messages.
That's
the
right.
company is developing these roads that are basically what,
Did
they're
you
like
just say
LED
roads?
Panels, aren't they?
Did you
Yeah.
just say roads?
We still need
Why
roads.
are we still on roads?
I know. For the time being, we still need roads.
Yep, self-driving cars are a lot closer than flying cars
Yes.
for the time being.
For the
That's
time being.
BS, man. We
We
need,
are
we
nowhere
need
near
flying
flying
cars. We need lateral takeoff in our automobile/planes. We don't need a drag
You know there's going to be
strip.
some hillbilly out there to test the limits, and they're going to drive toward space to see how far they're
Oh yeah! Hell yeah! That's gonna be great.
It's like, I don't mind lemmings. Let the lemmings fall wherever they may.
I wanna take you higher.
What song is
You
that?
listen to the music of that deck while they're going up into space.
A whole new world.
Right, now
Oh,
that's
it's
a good
Magic
What
Carpet
would you
now.
listen to as you're driving your self-driving car into space? What
Into
song?
space?
What song would be?
Fly like an eagle.
Some people
Why
call
not?
me a space cowboy.
Basically, all stupid
Yes.
songs. Time keeps on ticking.
Into
like a
yes.
Rocket Man.
Want to fly like
Space
an
Odyssey.
Rocket Man, that's a good one.
eagle? Oh my gosh.
But shit, I was gonna say something. The LED roads. The LED roads is very exciting because they're going to give live information, what's going on right on the street, and it's all solar powered. So I'm really excited about that. I haven't looked into that in a while. It's very cost. It's
Going to cost a lot, but something that's actually pretty cheap too. We're talking about illuminating roads instead of using illumination inside the cars. They're genetically engineering trees to be bioluminescent.
Oh,
So you're going to have trees that can be planted that light themselves.
Holy shit.
That's
Now,
crazy.
Is that like for the median? Like for the medians
It
and
could be.
stuff?
Well, this I don't know if the. I think one of the uses for it would be that. Right now, it's still being developed, but it's on its way out. So you could line sidewalks in cities.
Holy crap.
No need to have lights, to power it from some sort
That's
of
amazing.
coal-fired plant or nuclear power plant or whatever it may be. You have a tree that's collecting sun during the day and lighting up the streets during night.
So we talk about like messing with our food, genetically making our food and everything.
Uh-oh.
At that point, we're messing with trees.
Yeah.
And we're messing with nature.
Yes.
Are these glow-in-the-dark trees
That's what
going to
basically
put out the same oxygen?
Well, I think it's a different.
I don't know.
I think
They go for light, not oxygen, right?
Probably radiation, just more things to
I
put
think more of it would be.
What about the
when we talk
people that
about-
are raving in their self-driving cars?
They're going to have a great time with those trees. But with the trees, I mean, with GMOs and food, we're worried about how it affects us and how we develop because we're using that as nutrients to, grow and energize ourselves. With bioluminescent trees, how does that affect the ecosystem?
Yeah.
Birds, seed displacement, where a bird eats up however the tree reproduces. I don't know if they can cut that out during the engineering process of the
Well,
tree,
they have
and
to,
then it
'cause then,
spreads
yeah.
somewhere in the middle of the woods, and before you know it, the trees spread all over the place, and Earth is just like a bright
Yeah.
lit planet constantly. Well, that's far fetched, but those are things you have to think of.
I would imagine they would take away the reproducing part of it because because if that spreads, that just messes with trees, and then we're fucked. And then Interstellar happens, and we have to go find another.
Exactly.
No, that's never going
Just
to
in
happen.
time for the Mars One colony.
That's right.
Just in time.
Yeah, and I want to get back to that. What do you guys would you take this adventure to Mars? Would
Yeah,
you
I would. I had somebody actually tell me I should be an astronaut
Yeah?
once. Yeah, somebody actually told me.
So
Yeah,
you
I
would
could see
go-
you being an astronaut. I'm like, yeah, I might as well be.
Well, what
I don't
about
have
this?
anything else going
How
on.
long
This-
is the trip again? Let's get the,
Let-
what is it?
3
what
months?
does it entail?
Let's do a scenario here.
Okay.
You are given a briefcase of
Okay.
$50,000.
All right, but that's not enough to do anything, like going
All
to
right.
Mars.
Yeah, $50,000.
$420,000.
Why
Okay.
did you pick 420, Jim?
It's 442. That's the theme of today. But
No, we're in February. We're not in April. I don't get it.
not a 420 joke, you guys. But a man is giving you a briefcase full of money.
Why?
And you have been chosen as one of the few people to go on a mission, and that is to colonize Mars. And there's potential of you not coming back. You might stay up there.
Depends. Is this like right now?
You have 18 months to get prepared. Actually, no. The thing says 10 years. So let's go with 10 years. You have 10 years to train. for
That's
this
a
mission.
band.
What? Train?
No. Well, okay, both of them. Train and 10 years are bands, yeah.
I know 7 seconds. But you have 10 years to say goodbye to your family. Say goodbye to a dog.
I don't have a dog.
Train for this mission.
So we're colonizing Mars?
You're colonized. This is the goal. You are one of the few people to help start this new colony.
Are we in
on
charge
Mars.
of reproducing on Mars?
Yeah.
So the people we go with, we have to reproduce with.
Yeah.
Now-
I get to see who I'm going with.
Now, are these people
yeah.
politically correct where, if they're not asking for it and I'm not asking for it, we really don't have to colonize on Mars? Like, is there guidelines to
Yeah.
follow as far
Right.
as
It's
colonizing?
encouraged. It's encouraged to get it on. They're going to give you some Barry Manilow.
So this is
CDs to-
this is state-sponsored sexual encouragement.
Yes, they're encouraging.
That's not good for me. I want it natural.
You want natural? It's encouraged.
Anything done
You
on
get a
Mars
choice.
should be natural.
Yeah.
You
We
get a
don't
choice
want
of the 50.
You're starting the foundation for a new society. If the foundation is some sort of getting together for the sake of reproduction, what is the end? Like you could have some eugenic.
Oh, this is a
dystopia.
great political
You know?
topic here.
You could have some
This
eugenic
truly
dystopia.
is, because we
Like-
got two opposing viewpoints agreeing on the basis of not only a new society, but quite possibly a new civilization.
Yeah.
Definitely a big one. I mean,
Completely detached from Earth, untethered. They're going to be able to do whatever they want.
the last time that this happened really was the Americas, and now we're going to Mars and starting a whole new colony.
Yeah, but except there's no Indians on Mars
And
that we
no-
know of.
New York.
That we know
and
of.
no
That we
resources.
know of, exactly.
And let's not forget any resources. So they're
Right.
still going to
The
be dependent on
water.
But the only problem is we are still dependent on Earth and these little fascists back here on Earth on supplying us materials. Yeah, fascists like Elon Musk and his SpaceX venture with the
Is
U.S.
that such
government.
a bad thing? What's the negative of being a fascist?
Fascist is like a incorporation of the government taking control of businesses, so businesses act in a certain way, so that they do what's best for the government.
Yeah, it's like tax credits, pretty much.
Tax
Would you
law.
bash? Would
Here's
you
the
bash
so far-
Social Security?
I am still up in the air with Social Security.
Here's
Now.
the-
I don't think I'm going to have
Even
it.
though, well, you don't think you're going to have it.
Yeah.
Imagine this. I don't think I'm going to have health care, and the only place I can get health care from is the government, because that's just the way it's set up.
Okay.
Look down.
Your employer doesn't provide health care?
Well, they
They do.
They do.
And they always did.
Yeah.
So
but
where's
it's
it
the
cheaper
thing.
to get it?
The cheapest place to get it is where they subsidize it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to join the Leviathan, what's known as the U.S. federal government, and
government.
get everything that you can have, whether it's health care, your retirement, your food, your housing, subsidized, well, why not do it? Yeah, sure.
I don't think it needs to be subsidized. I mean, that's
It
that's
is
no,
subsidized.
this is. And that's not the main mechanism in Obamacare that makes it work.
I
It's
like
having these health
starting a new
exchanges.
civilization. We were on
Yeah, let's
point
get
on
back.
starting
Let's
a
get back. Let's
civilization.
get back.
Yeah,
Let's get back to new civilization.
I thought about this, and if nothing's going on when I'm 35, if I have no real connections, if my parents are doing good, and I'm ready to start a new life, I would go up there. I would start with the colony. I would help make a new civilization. I think that'd be exciting.
Now we're
That's-
talking about 100 people, right?
We
They're gonna
We
whittle
got
it down to
100
24.
strangers
Wow.
living on the side of
Yeah,
one
you're going to live the
biodome.
rest of your life with 24 people.
Wow.
And I just read. I'll throw some little numbers at you.
Wow.
Before I throw those numbers, let me just throw a few things at you, just to come up. Mars One is also, or first, to answer your question, Brendon, from a long time ago. All it says is the Netherlands-based nonprofit Mars One. Mars One is
Netherlands-based non-profit.
Mars One is the mission, so it's being hosted by a nonprofit Netherlands
Well, who's
organization.
sending
Wow.
them into space?
So, huh?
How are they getting into space?
Well,
Who's-
there's
Probably-
the
they're probably
European
funded from
Space
outside sources,
Agency.
probably. They're
Wow.
nonprofit because all the money they're getting is probably being funded into this project called Mars One.
And this is going for the first civilization?
That's what I wonder
And
about.
they started the weaning process in 2013.
Whoa,
So
whoa,
they-
whoa,
they're-
really
whoa.
working on
Let's
it for a while.
remember where the Netherlands is at. All right, that's around like the whole Scandinavia area.
Sure.
All right, so we're talking about a few generations past the Hitler Youth are trying to start a blonde hair, blue-eyed society
got
on
a gun
Mars.
ready.
Are you blonde? Alright, no, you're out.
So
Okay,
pretty
you're out.
much these 24 people, their secret criteria that they're not mentioning blonde hair, blue eyes.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty excited about that.
All right,
I
well,
think-
go ahead. I apologize.
I would be in favor of it if I had no connections. If I had stuff going on in my life, I would feel very hard to throw all that away. If I could get my music, I think I would be more willing to.
First band to play on Mars.
Listen
Yeah,
to
once
you. So you're in favor? You're in favor of?
I would
signing
not-
up?
I would not
You
go.
would not go.
I would not
Interesting. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let me
Yeah.
let me throw a
Is
few. Before you answer that, let me throw a few numbers at you because there's a good reason for that answer that
Okay.
I would support.
Okay.
Let me just read these two paragraphs real quick, and then I'll tell you something. Mars One wants to send new 4-person crews to the Red Planet every 2 years or so after the first touchdown, which would take place in 2025. At the moment, there are no plans to bring any of these Mars colonists home to Earth.
That's what I'm like.
So it's a one-stop. It's a one-stop.
Yeah.
You're there after this.
Yep.
That's
Mars.
the
Yep. Mars One has also mapped out. And remember, Mars One is referring to the mission, basically. Mars One has also mapped out a number of robotic precursor missions to prepare the ground for people. The first of these, which would deliver a lander and orbiter to Mars, is scheduled to blast off in 2018. Mars One will not build any Mars-bound spacecraft itself, but instead will contract the work out to aerospace companies. The organization plans to pay for its ambitious activities primarily by staging a global media event, which we should all have a staging area right here on my big screen.
Way to burn.
Or maybe they will. Maybe they'll actually do it in movie theaters, which would be awesome.
That'd be
Because
cool.
at one
Yeah.
time they did a mission on the International Space Station.
Yeah.
You got to watch it in the theaters, right?
Cool.
With 3D and all that.
Yeah.
IMAX.
I'll be down for that.
Global media event around the colonization process
Around
from
Falcon.
astronaut selection and training to the pioneers' time on Mars. Now that's that little tidbit I want to read. Reading how long it takes to get to Mars.
Yeah. What's the current?
Like
Let's remember too. This is without NASA technology
This is
or U.S. This is the Netherlands.
well,
So a little
And
outdated
it's
technology.
a-
already.
well, and the NASA scientists being outsourced to them because there's no
I
jobs
would
to be
say
found
that
anymore. in
NASA,
NASA.
NASA right now is completely focused on Mars, from what I understand.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one of their main missions is to get to Mars.
Okay.
So I don't know if our best and brightest are going to be working on a side project where
Well, this is their goal, right? This is their goal
this
to
is
get
their-
to Mars.
It is. It is. Maybe they team up with them later. Maybe that's how it works.
You know, it'd be really, really convenient if there's like kind of a black hole in the way there.
That someone
So it
just put there?
slingshots them to it.
Well, that's what I was getting to. You got one end of the black hole between here and Mars, and the other end just can pop us out there. Might
That's
save
very
us a couple of
convenient.
months.
That,
Yeah.
that might.
So-
They have to almost plan that. But what
So-
were you saying? How long does it take to get there?
Well, we all seen. Oh, you're gonna hate me. What was that movie? Matthew McConaughey.
Interstellar.
Well, I'm reading the stories here. Okay, I'm not paying attention like I want to. No. Okay. Well, we've seen how they were traveling through space. They would use the fuel. It would gun through space, and they turn the fuel off, and it would just they just glide. So it's weightless.
Sure.
If they were to do that, which is the preferred way to do it, because you save your rocket fuel, takes 9 months.
Okay. That's
Okay,
not
here's
bad.
really not that
That's
bad. I
really
was
not
thinking
that
a lot
bad.
worse.
All right. Well,
You
let
do
me
some cryo sleep and
Yeah,
okay.
9 months.
Yeah, that's
Let me
not
mention this. We
That's
have
like years.
these type of. They were considered rockets before, but they call them like scramjets or scamjets, something like that, X-71 or whatever type of, like they vacuum air through them and they go like at Mach 7 speeds, whatever like that. Why can't we just put that on whatever type of ship and just launch it with whatever type of power source? We could even do it nuclear.
The power source is the big deal.
Yeah.
Because right now our main power source to get into space is fuel. So when you launch a rocket into space, a majority of what you're lifting off with is your fuel source.
Why can't we do nuclear power?
Well, I think nuclear still has a very negative air to it.
That's fine. Be afraid. But if we have a nuclear power source that can keep regenerating power, but like through a maglev type of way, let's keep on going.
Smarter people are working on this.
Yeah, but you got to think of nuclear weapons. Nuclear vehicles usually involve some sort of
waste.
Like a turbine of some sort and a propeller.
Yeah, basically like nuclear submarines or carriers.
You're talking about a rocket. You're talking about firepower. I'm just ignorant to this, but how do you transition nuclear power into a source to project into space? I just don't know if it works.
Maglev, like if nuclear energy is powering electronics, the electrical grid, why not have it power some sort of maglev motor to suction air?
There's no air in space.
Yeah, there's no air in space. There's no sound in space either.
Okay, well, there's got to be something to suction.
I think that's the
There's
issue.
Space in space to suction.
Space is a vacuum.
I think there's hydrogen, I think.
Yeah,
there's something to suction.
If Star Wars and Star Trek paid attention to what actually happened in space, those would be the most boring movies ever. There'd be many movies.
But that's why in Star Trek and Star Wars you have things like warp drives and things of that nature. Ion thrust.
I think I'm on something, and you guys are just killing it.
It's movie magic. It's to get through all the BS science that we're not really sure about to just make it more interesting for the viewers.
Exactly, but a lot of those BS sciences turned out to be reality later on because they gave us a horizon to shoot for.
Yes,
and a lot of those, like the warp drive, ion thrust, wormholes. These are things that were just ideas back then, and now black holes are a real thing, and how they work are very similar to how a wormhole would work.
Did you hear about the dark matter that was found in our universe?
Did you say dark matter?
Dark matter, yes.
Illuminati.
Dark matter is still a very something that's still up in the air, like still a mystery to us. But it's very kind of exciting that we're still hearing about the science of the universe, and still
there's still so much we don't understand about the universe, which is an amazing thing.
It's kind of like gambling. It's like you just don't know if you're going to win the next one. That's what science is like. You just don't know. Is it really there?
Yeah.
Are my odds really this?
That's why they're hypothesis. That's why they
probability. That's quantum physics.
Sure. Yeah, but I've always wanted to know: is quantum physics real? Like,
what do you mean?
Quantum physics a theory, just a constant theory of things?
We only have so much knowledge to what the universe is working on, and
it's a theory still.
Sure,
it's a theory, but there are certain things like the wave particle function or the wave. Is the wave particle function? Wave. Well, when you shoot like a beam of light or something like a quantum,
is this a Madonna song?
It exists in two different positions. So there have been experiments that show that these subatomic particles do act in this way that's completely independent of what we use to understand the realm we live in, which is this sort of macro world of, if we throw a rock in the air, it's going to fall down. Yeah, we know that, but when
gravity,
exactly.
Illuminati,
we know that.
Oh. And there was a point when people did not believe in gravity. They didn't believe that the world was round.
I think there's people that understood. They just didn't say it because they had better things to do.
No, the world is very ignorant.
Globes would be much easier to read.
What?
The globes would be much easier to read because it'd be flat like a map. If they never found out it was round.
So they'd be like, all right, we've reached as west as we can go. We're going to go all the way back east.
Exactly.
And we're done. Yeah, life would be pretty boring if we just had that one section of the world.
It's like, you can save a lot of time from going all the way back and just kind of making that edge around.
Maybe it's not Russia that's right there. Maybe we're just keep going like
That's right.
some endless loop that we don't realize is
And actually find Atlantis.
At
There
one
you
point,
go.
all this land was connected at one point,
Yep.
and it just slowly broke away.
starts with a P.
Pangea.
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 Pangea. I was
Pangea.
gonna say Pangea.
I'm not Italian.
Europa's a moon on Mars.
Europa. Yeah, that was pretty
What do you
fun.
think-
I like that little science.
What do you
stuff.
think? Not to get like for going.
Just go for it.
What do you think the first thing they're going to try doing with? Because they can't do
On
anything.
Mars?
They can't do anything with water until they have like plants to create the whole. Like, so what do you think will be the first?
Oh no, they
like-
can't. They can't have plants because what all that air is just going to go into space.
Yeah. So like, what
There's
are they
no
gonna do?
spheres.
What's
They're going.
No,
All
they're-
those
I
biodomes are going to be where they grow the plants for the system, and then they're going to be doing experiments of the ground. They're going to see what the soil is like on Mars. What the,
If it's really soil, we don't even know that yet.
Yeah.
For the folks at home, I'll just put that in quotation marks. But they're going to look at the conditions of the world. But I think for the most part, from what we've seen in movies, like they make plants in their little biodomes. So
There's moss in that one. What's that movie? It was like moss covering the ground. Their helmet, the guy's helmet came off. Was it Bruce Willis in that one?
oh, Armageddon.
No, it wasn't Armageddon. There was no moths in
Not
Armageddon.
moss. Moss.
Moss.
When the hell is
Mosques?
that? Interstellar?
No.
Again?
This is an old
There's
movie.
the- no,
Remember the
Bruce
helmet
Willis.
came off for a little bit? Oh, no, Bruce
It was like the tip. That's the only thing I hate about all these space movies.
Armageddon.
Armageddon's
Bruce
a Bruce Willis
movie.
movie.
It was in Mars. On
No,
Mars?
space asteroid.
No, that was an
It's a giant
asteroid.
No, this is a movie about them. trying
Mission to
find-
Mars.
No. I'll have to look
Brendon
it up.
Mars.
Alien.
No.
No, this is
Starship
one-
Troopers.
Giant ass beetles were attacking them. Yes.
Big bad Beetleborgs.
The Big Lebowski.
God, now I have to look this up too. Jesus. Why am I able to see these?
You're not going to
movies?
be able to Google Mars in a space or
Bruce
moths
Willis.
in a space helmet
No.
featuring
No,
Bruce
because
Willis.
I'm not moss in a space helmet. What are you talking about?
That's what you were
No,
saying.
No, there are beetles from these from the moss.
beetles at Mars?
Little bugs.
They're
Not
bad.
beetles.
They
little
come
bugs.
Hey, only 2 beetles are dead.
Okay, no, because the
Oh,
whole thing
okay,
was
right.
they thought they couldn't breathe on Earth or on Mars, so they had the helmets on, or whatever. And the guys were fighting, and
Which
the guy
we don't
pushes the
know.
button, like,
That's
yeah.
allegedly.
The helmet opens. It's like, and he's like, "Holy shit!" Like, or something he could breathe, and and then they're trying to escape, and one of the guys, which
This
is the guy
John
on
Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars.
Boardwalk Empire, that guy's in it too.
Steve Buscemi?
Yes, I think that's his name.
The ugly face horse?
Yes,
face?
or yes,
Steve Buscemi.
he's in this movie as well.
Really?
Yes, he's the one who get the bugs get inside his thing, I think, and they eat him.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
They eat
horse
his
face.
spacesuit
Reservoir Dogs.
and it kills him.
Oh, I know who he
This
is.
is actually a very good movie. It won awards.
It's
Yeah, I know. It
Armageddon.
has to be
What?
Mission to Mars.
It's Armageddon.
Apollo 21.
Oh God,
It's Armageddon.
it's not Carpenter's.
It's not Armageddon.
Because Steve Buscemi was
Yeah,
in
it's Armageddon. I don't know why it'd be
Was it not
Armageddon.
No.
Because this is just
No,
them doing a
Bruce
Bruce
space
Willis
was
and
in
Ben Affleck
Armageddon.
was.
What's the
Steve
one where they
Buscemi
do
was?
was?
Yes.
Yes, he was in Armageddon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thank
was that
you.
Russian guy from the Volkswagen
They
commercial
picked a
and the
bunch
Big Lebowski.
Yeah, they picked like a crew to get together to go into space.
I remember Armageddon. I don't remember Steve Buscemi, but I believe you guys. What? Is that it? Is it Armageddon?
Just
Oh,
like
I
you
see.
believe that you can't breathe in outer space.
Yeah.
I think
What's your favorite
Kevin
space
just
movie?
Steve Buscemi might be the one with the asteroids. I might have got him mixed up. There was
Yeah,
one with the
that's
asteroids.
Armageddon.
You
Okay.
guys in those space
Hey,
are you sure?
transmission.
What's your other space
transmission
favorite
things.
movies? Mine is 2001 Space Odyssey.
I like
Gotta think about
Starship
that one.
Troopers is a
That's a
fun
good
one.
one.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Brendan?
I have to think about
Galaxy
This was-
Quest.
Another favorite was Sunshine, starring Chris Evans.
That
Captain
was an
America.
excellent.
Well,
movie.
there was nothing to do with space and a little bit of sunshine. I don't know. what you're talking
Sunshine and the guy that played in the first Batman movie, The Dark
Oh,
Knight.
yes.
He was in that
I
as well.
can't remember his name right now, but it's Scarecrow. He was a great little character in that movie. His eyes are very piercing.
That's the same guy that was in that one zombie movie
Yes.
based in England.
28 Days Later.
Yeah.
That's right. Good call out.
Yeah.
And like the aforementioned Interstellar, that's a great movie. Very good
Yeah,
in
I think
21.
maybe Interstellar
That's
might go down as one of the best space movies there is.
I agree. I love that.
Oh, you know it's a pretty good space movie. What the sixth? It's not the
Sixth
sixth.
Sense?
No, that's not what it is. It's the sixth element. The fifth
Fifth
element.
Element.
The fifth element. Yeah,
Bruce
that's
Willis.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not Steve Buscemi in The Fifth Element.
It does have Chris Tucker in it, though.
And it does have that one guy. What's his name? Gary Oldman. Yeah. Gary Oldman plays the best characters. He played that one Rasta dude in the True Romance.
Yes,
And
that was great.
that was amazing.
Okay, I got my movies mixed up. All the characters I named were from Armageddon.
We know that now. And
The movie I was
before.
talking about, which had moss on it, and little bugs that went into the suit, was called Red Planet.
Oh, that's what I was trying to
You never
convey.
said Red Planet.
I said Mission to Mars. What's Mars?
You were very
Bruce Willis in Red Planet?
No.
The movie is called Red Planet.
It was Bruce Willis.
That-
No, it wasn't. It was actually Val Kilmer.
We were given bad
He's a
information.
forgettable actor.
No, he's not. Doc Holliday's a very
I
forgettable
like Val
character.
Kilmer,
This
but you
motherfucker.
can't. But he's
Batman.
one of those actors that kind of
The
just dropped
Batman.
off. Bruce Willis
The
is
Batman.
Batman. Christian Bale is the Batman.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Val Kilmer was the best.
No.
Oh, no.
George Clooney.
No, Christian Bale is the only Batman.
I do
that
not
there's
like
ever
his
been.
voice. I don't like his voice for Batman, but everything else, I think
Oh yeah,
he
he's
is.
absolutely.
Well, it's the director. Okay, Christopher Nolan is the director for Batman.
Yes.
All right.
Hands down.
Yeah.
He has been the best. And I kind of wish that he would continue along with the Justice League development, but they got the director of 300, Zack Snyder, to
Is he doing the Batman vs Superman movie?
Yes, yeah,
Really?
he's the director, and he's doing Justice League.
I really like 300, especially the part where they were really kind of dark with their sense of humor about the elephants
Okay.
slipping on the edge of the mountain with all the blood that was being spilled. That was really good narration there.
There's something about that movie. They had such good There wasn't a lot of There was a story, but at the same time, they excelled at what they were trying to get at.
They had 300 heroes defending.
Yeah.
All right, defending the homeland.
And they
Sparta.
didn't win. At the end, they all died. I mean, it was more of a moral victory than anything.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the new 300?
I saw it after you told me to watch
was
it.
awesome.
I waited a long time to see it. I wish I would have seen it earlier. It was amazing.
It was very good.
All right, bathroom break. Again.
Okay.
Right time.
Hey, Brendon, how's it going?
I'm doing well.
Want me to pause it?
Let's pause it.
Okay, no problem. I can do that. There is a political thing I want to talk about, but I'll get to that.
Let's talk about that. What else?
Yeah, it's still cooler
South
than
Korea
North
is pretty
Korea.
cool. That was the first experience I ever had with something related to Guitar Hero. They had a drum one, and that was actually way before I even started playing drums. It had 7 drums all lined up, and I had no idea what I was doing. But it was such a cool little thing seeing that in an arcade.
That is cool.
Yeah,
You were in South America or South Korea?
I was in South Korea. I was at the border of South Korea and North Korea.
When did you go to South Korea?
I want to say around earlier than that, probably around the 2000s. I went to China and South Korea.
They got a funny way of spelling soul.
They do Seoul,
Yeah.
yeah. S-O-U-L. Oh, no,
S-E-O-U-L, I think.
I used to be in Taekwondo, and as a adventure for our Taekwondo group, we went to China and Korea to see martial arts tournaments. And
Is there a Chinatown in China?
China's
Right,
made.
American Town.
Is there an American town? That's
No, it's not. Actually,
Bunch
speaking
of
I figure that's
racists.
where McDonald's would be.
China is really dirty, and this is back in, mind you, around 2000. But I'm attacking China right now. And being a tourist, you go to tourist areas, the Great Wall of China. You go to all these amazing
Forbidden Palace.
Yes, and there are tourist traps there. There's these merchants trying to sell you knockoff merchandise, and
Made in China.
made in China. Fun fact, actually made in America. Orphans. Yeah, they make them there.
Orphans?
They export American orphans to make their Chinese knockoff merchandise.
Since we're in Asia, we're talking about
Really?
a company.
That's what the Catholics are doing these days?
Instead of
Wow.
mistreating them, they force them into slavery.
That's better than the
Or I
alternative.
guess indentured service at that point. But anyway, they at these.
Have you seen the orphans in this country?
At these tourist traps, if you didn't buy their merchandise at some of these places, they would spit at you.
It's insulting.
This is something that really stuck with me about the China trip. Not the culture that I was immersed in, but the bad parts of it. We're spitting at you because you're not giving us money that you're coming over here with. South Korea was pretty cool, and something that I've grown to learn as an adult is to be more open to trying new things, and that's something I wish I would have done more when I was over there. I was very in my angst teen years and very not trying to learn, like all the food that was there. I was such an idiot. All I did was eat rice. Like, I was so afraid of the food there and all this culture that I was learning. I was like, Mongolian dish, like white rice, please. No, I tried a few things, but for the most part, I was very like.
Where are we eating at tonight, guys?
Where do you want to go?
What do you feel like? What's your
Anything, man. I
We
am
can
open
do
to
anything from Beef O'Brady's to Rib City to
God,
Chili's.
Rip City's nice. Chili's is nice because we can.
What the?
It is Tuesday. Tuesday's wing night. So that's
So we
also
can go to that one place for wing night. We can go to Sonny's. But, me eating Sonny's, 4 into it, that's not good.
Let's get
chicken
pizza.
wings.
Let's get pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They got that place right into the Publix complex. That guy.
Yeah.
Jet's Pizza.
Yeah.
No,
They
it's
got
a
Jet's
different.
Pizza.
Well, I mean, why have Jet's Pizza? I'm talking about having something new. Some guy there's
Joe's
a
Pizza.
family-owned pizza place over there in Publix. They don't have good pizza.
What's wrong with pizza? Italian?
What's wrong with chicken wings? What's
I don't-
wrong
Who's to
with
say he hasn't had
barbecue?
wings?
They might have wings. Yeah. You see pizza
Pizza
places.
place- what's a
have
pizza
wings.
Why
place
do we
without
gotta go
wings?
to pizza place?
I don't know.
God, that is just the worst.
All right. What's this drone thing that you want to talk about, Kev?
That was something I didn't actually bring up, but I remember the basis of it. So there's a new bill trying to be passed. Is it going? Will they make it legal to allow you to shoot drones down if they're in your property?
It doesn't have to be legal. You can.
Yeah,
It's your
that's the
property.
thing.
You have no idea why
Well,
a drone is in your property.
As of right
Shoot
now,
that drone down.
Absolutely.
It would seem like as of right now, it would be illegal.
Yep.
No,
That's what I was saying. It's government owned.
it doesn't matter.
It's like shooting a cop who goes to your
Well,
property.
no, it does
It
matter. I mean,
doesn't
according
matter.
to the
The government
Okay, so-
needs to have a warrant to go into your property.
Okay.
They do.
Well, if it's like
They
flying
need to-
across,
and they
they're just
obviously
flying-
need to
But they
be.
have to declare they have a warrant
Yeah.
too. They can't just
And
walk
they need
into
to
your
declare that
property.
they're a cop.
Yeah, they have to declare
Well,
they're a cop.
Well, I'm saying,
Let's
say,
ask
The drone is declaring, hey,
say the drone's like going from point A to point B, and you're treating it like a clay pigeon, where do it, pull, boom,
It's their word against yours.
Okay.
You have no idea.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So you're upset
Well-
about this drone? What about an airplane or a helicopter? What if a
a
helicopter?
helicopter or a plane doesn't have the task of monitoring and observing
That's
a
it?
specific area. For the most part, when I see a plane above me or a helicopter, that's not what
You're
it's
thinking
doing.
travel.
It's travel. A drone, the sole purpose of a drone is to monitor a certain area, and maybe I don't want to be monitored.
Well, why are you so worried that they're going over your house?
Why are they so worried of what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
No, they're just flying by.
Okay, and if
But
they're
you're
flying
kinda
by,
like-
and if I've seen it more than once,
No.
I'm going to be.
The moment that my Fractal Minds co-host here, Kevin, mentioned this drone flying by your house, you threatened it by shooting it.
I don't threaten a robot.
Well, what if
It seemed like you did.
what if it's one of the ones you buy from Amazon? Maybe it's like your drone going through to deliver
What
you
if it's your
something,
neighbors?
and some guy out there
If I
sees your drone.
I don't understand where you guys are calling me a
First
dick.
off-
If I see a drone with a package, I'm not getting out my shot and be like, all right, I know I'm going to kill that drone. No, I'm not a dick like that, and you can't just assume everybody else is a dick either.
First off, Amazon drones don't exist right now.
That's
not what it
so
is.
coming soon.
I doubt that's coming soon.
Sorry,
That's
not
more-
soon.
No,
That's
delivered.
more of a marketing
To
scheme
deliver
than
packages.
anything else.
It happens in
delivered
New York,
one
right?
package. It delivered one package, and it was a very orchestrated video where they were showing you, like, look what we're going to do. That is very, very, very far off.
Have you seen the
20
weight
years.
of things people
20 years,
order?
baby. 20 years, baby.
No.
But right now, if a drone is close enough for me to shoot it, it doesn't belong there.
Okay.
If it's a military drone, it's so far up in the fucking sky, you're not going to be able to shoot it.
Exactly.
If it's a drone, like a helicopter, the 4 turbine, whatever it is, for the drones that you have where they fly close to the ground. If you're on my land, I'm going to shoot you.
And everybody's so full of it about what they believe these drones can transport. It's like, okay, what can a drone transport? Maybe some DVDs? What can you do with DVDs? You can stream it. You don't even need a drone for DVDs. All right? Is it going to transport auto parts? No, because that's too heavy for a drone. So what is it going to transport? Clothes?
Well, the drones the drones the U.S. military is using are bombing the fuck out of.
Yeah, and those are Predator drones. Those are not those
airplanes.
Yeah,
those are pilotless airplanes.
Yeah.
Those aren't really drones.
Those are not the drones that Amazons are going to
use. They're talking about stuff that you get at Marshall's right now for $29.99, clearanced out from Christmas Day sales. Like, not the same thing.
Yeah. So it's pretty much what Brendon said. We'll agree to. We just need to be in politics together, Brendon. We could cut through so much BS.
Y'all want to talk about your little plan together? We heard about a plan.
We really don't have a plan. Come on, do you think people are really going to vote for?
One of you running, one of you backing? I heard about. I heard this plan after our last podcast.
Just me and Brendon. They're going to look at us like these a-holes don't know what they're
What's
talking
your platform?
about.
That's something to be developed over time.
You know what my platform would be?
Yeah, I want to hear you.
We'll talk about it in 2016.
It depends on what
Yes.
It depends on what I'm running for. But like, say if I'm running for a congressional seat where I have to vote with 500 plus other people on things, my votes are always going to be to reduce the amount of taxes you'll have to pay in anything. If it's not reducing the amount of taxes because we're spending way too much, then I'm not going to go ahead with it. For example, the truest congressional representative that I've seen is Justin Amash. He is one of the only people that I've ever seen put on Facebook the reasoning behind his votes. And he's very true to his own political beliefs.
Good.
There's other people not like that at all. They just get on an interview and they're like, well, I had to vote for it. It wasn't the perfect bill. It wasn't this or that, but I had to vote for it because it was, party line and I could not vote for it and this kind of stuff, or it's just because of where my district is. No, Justin Amash is just straight up like, look, this is why I vote for it. It's constitutionally based. That's why I vote for it. Good in my book. Moving on. I didn't vote for it because of this reason. Justin Amash didn't vote for the Keystone Pipeline. I would like a Keystone Pipeline made because it's more oil being moved in North America, produced in North America. He was against it. I have nothing against him voting against it because he was against the cronyism involved, the fascism involved. So it's cool in my book.
Yeah.
Just if there's just like general platitudes for things, there's subgeneral platitudes for things. It could be either or, as long as it's moving something in a better direction. That's cool.
Definitely.
Voting against something with the right merit, it's fine with me.
Yeah.
That's why I like Justin Amash.
As long as you stand by.
Yeah, that's like, why can't other representatives be like that? They can't because either they're busy dodging taxes, that they want the rich 1%, like they villainize to pay.
Is Justin Amash a Tea Party representative? That's why. Because a lot of your mainstream politicians.
Yeah, but here's the thing that he has against them.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They're beholden to their party to get backing when it comes to being elected later on.
But the Tea Party is not his party. The Republican, he's a
Republican.
Republican.
But you got to remember,
he was primaried against by the Republican Party.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point, though, is that he was primaried against by the Republican Party. He got in office regardless, meaning that his base was strong enough to get into office without party backing. The majority,
but the money backing that a lot of people complain about from the PACs was against him. The majority of the PACs were against Justin Amash because he wasn't a fascist like the rest of the Republicans.
A lot of the politicians that you have in office, the reason they are where they are is because a lot of that PAC money has gone to support them. A lot of the party money has gone to support them. So when it comes to voting, they vote party lines because later on they need that backing. Whereas someone like Justin Amash, who ran with
knows
Tea Party
his base.
backing,
Well, no, he knows his district. He knows his district.
He got there without needing that backing.
Yeah.
so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's
so
not
I think
like
it's
a
perfect,
Charlie Rangel
it's a perfect
or Nancy Pelosi.
or there's Republican John Bonner
or John Boehner.
Yeah, there's plenty of different on both sides of the aisle of examples of what you're talking about, but
Fascist
and
money.
what that really speaks to more than anything to me is the fact that when you take money away from the process, you have people who act independently.
No, see,
and I think
what I enjoy of it, what I enjoy of all the money involved and all the people that complain about the money involved is, look, if you're complaining about the money involved, whoever has money backing them, vote against the money backing them.
You
It
can
doesn't
say that as
matter.
someone who's knowledgeable about how the political process works, but the vast majority of people aren't that knowledgeable. What they do is they just look at what's on TV, and what they see on TV is usually who's backed by the most money.
From what I hear from most people is that they hate what they see on TV.
But that's all they see.
But they vote party
But
lines.
that's all they see.
They don't vote primaries. The problem with the U.S. electoral system isn't that, say, people want to complain about electoral college, people want to complain about a two-party system, people want to complain about PACs. It's none of that. It's about people not voting in primaries, not voting base-wise to get the better candidates into the general elections. That's the biggest problem in U.S. politics. People not voting in primaries.
I would say that is a problem. I would say that's the biggest.
That's the biggest problem.
I wouldn't say that's the.
Yeah, that's the
biggest
biggest problem.
Where do most people get their information from to vote? The majority of
From
people-
their own sources that they
most
enjoy
people-
getting their
and-
information
and
from.
Me and you are both very into politics.
Yeah.
We pay attention to this stuff. We find it very.
Where do you guys get your sources if you
Alex,
or when
Alex,
you go to vote?
Alex, you are my source.
We love
Really? Oh God!
All right, well, here, go on, because you're asking our topic, so I'll wait.
Well,
So.
I mean, this can be something that's discussed another day.
I don't know, because, this is what I was going to mention.
We're not really arguing over anything.
No,
There's
yeah,
no
we're
main
not.
point. There's really no
We're
argument.
discussing
I agree-
it here.
I agree with them completely. But
Everything you're saying makes sense.
The main point of contention, though, is that when we discuss why it's such a big deal that people vote in the primaries and why that's the biggest problem, I don't know if that's the biggest problem.
I think it is because let's just hypothetically think here, and I'm actually using hypotheticals here because it's a thing that I believe in. Say if more people voted in the primaries, more people would vote for a base type of party candidate,
Well,
like
it's just you have more
Democrats.
money in the primaries. That's all that would mean. If you had more, people right now allocate money where the majority of people are voting. If
It'd be more of a result than
if more people
money.
voted in the primaries, you're just going to see more TV spots and more ads and more billboards and more signs on the street and more canvassing
No,
during the primaries
I disagree with that.
to get the person they want into office. That's exactly what would happen.
What?
That's exactly what would happen.
No,
Right now, the
the-
reason that you don't see
the party of what the person is primarying for, you would see ads ran against contenders. All right, that's what you would see. But I'm saying the result of if people voted more in the primaries because they cared, they were more knowledgeable of the
Well, that's-
candidate.
Is that
You're
a
talking-
thing?
you're
Is that a
talking-
thing that people are not voting as much in the primaries, that they're voting more in the later part of?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is an issue, but that's
Because the primary interest shows too how much committed a certain congressional district is in their candidate.
Sure.
Like Southwest Florida is as conservative as you can get in the country. It really is. Kirk Clausen won this special election recently. I didn't even vote for him in the primaries. I voted for this other dude
Yeah.
that got third place because here it was Kirk Clausen and Elizabeth Benequisto. I voted for this complete other dude that I just thought was more on point to my liking.
Sure.
And he got maybe 14% of the vote. Kirk Clausen got like maybe 40-something. Elizabeth Benequisto got whatever number that was in the middle that she lost by. My point is, it shows how much the base in the congressional district is interested if they're going, whether they have a diverse range of opinions to a specific set of opinions that win the general election, as opposed to we have the same guy that wins it every year that is just a generalized politician like say Charlie Rangel,
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi,
John
All
Boehner.
Democrats.
I
Or, yeah, you
think-
go Republican.
I think the most.
Same thing. They're all the same thing.
I think the biggest issue I have with politics is the system. I think it's a very archaic system. That
That's why you should vote in primaries. Because you don't, right? You don't vote in the primaries.
I don't
Exactly,
I don't
my
like.
point.
I don't like the feeling of this two-party system. I don't agree with every ideal that Republicans have. I don't agree with every ideal that.
And that's the
Democrats
nice
have.
thing. That's the nice thing about voting in the primaries.
Uh-huh.
The thing about
Because in the primaries, it shows you specific people and specific bases, but against you and what you're talking about, the two-party system, you have to be a registered voter with a specific party to vote for that party in
Exactly.
the two-party system.
Yeah.
You can't be a registered Republican. And in some states it's different, but I know in Florida, if
you're a Republican,
yeah, you gotta
you have to vote for Republican
in the primaries.
Democratic primaries. I think the thing that I think there's a little bit. You're taking the primaries and you're saying if more people voted in it, it'd be a better thing. But I think what you're seeing is that people vote in the primaries, they know what the candidate's about. They're more about the issues. And it attracts a different type of voter. So I think what you're really asking for is not necessarily more people vote in the primaries. What you're asking
There
for
should not be a different type of voter.
Oh, there absolutely
Yeah,
is.
there should be.
There is a different type of voter though. You could say there shouldn't be, but there is.
Yeah.
Well, as far as interest goes, of course there's
Of course.
diversity in voters, but I'm saying as far as involved, why should somebody that's voting
But
in the
you're
general
asking about,
election
but really,
what
what you want is
be
more
this-
educated
any
voter.
different
A voter that
than
votes in the
one in the
primary.
primaries?
If you vote in a primary, you know what the issues are, and you know what makes one candidate different than the other. Because if you're taking one Democrat over another, you're taking one Republican over another. It's about the issues, and that's what I think you're romanticizing the primary so much is because that's the kind of voter you get there. But the problem is that's not the kind of voters we have in this country. So it's not the problem isn't necessarily that we don't have people voting in the primaries. It's that we don't have knowledgeable voters. That's the real issue.
Okay. My kind of argument for that is, I'm someone who doesn't really follow politics too much because I'm not a fan of the dirty part about it. I'm not a fan of the dirty schemes that go on behind the scenes.
What causes dirty politics, though?
Just the hearing of the scandals. And
Monica Lewinsky.
Oh God, you guys are sad.
No, not even that, but like more Watergate, like with Nixon and stuff like
But
that.
that's what
Hearing-
politicians do.
That's not
When
even,
they're
that's
not
not even the
being
dirtiest
Well,
parts.
that's not. But sure, that's not exactly. That's not the dirtiest parts that we.
The dirtiest parts of politics is this: I vote for somebody, and they're making deals against tenets of things I don't believe in, or they're making deals with tenets of things I don't believe in. Not just right now, but further down the road in laws. So this base or that base can get what they want in a specific time frame. That's the dirtiest part of politics, and that kind of just builds up this leviathan that we keep experiencing and experiencing.
We keep blaming the government, but it seems to me that when we
It's the voter.
It's the voter.
Yeah.
Because if the voter was more responsible, and you talk about here kind of detached from the political process, that part of having a responsible government is having a responsible electorate that's keeping these politicians in check. Now, if we completely take ourselves away from the process and divorce ourselves from the process, we allow them to do whatever they want.
Sure.
And if we're not taking responsibility for it as voters, this is what we're going to get.
Definitely.
So it really does start with us. Even when we don't like it, even when we say it's dirty and it's something that
But-
we don't like,
It just
we-
it leaves that in trust. Like I do not trust any politician
But-
because of so many politicians being bad, corrupt.
And then when politicians have these things where they say, well, the economy's not doing so good, we need a jobs bill, we need a stimulus plan, we need this new health insurance initiative, we need this new Social Security SNAP project, or
Yeah.
whatever. But people still trust them.
but I mean that's also part we talk about an electorate that really doesn't understand what's going on or understand policy in a sophisticated way. All you have to do is promise the electorate things like welfare and SNAP programs or whatever it may be, or you can appeal to their sense of security by saying that you're being threatened, and if you don't elect us, you're going to be.
There's
a
these
part of the
teabaggers trying to take
Well,
everything you
not
have
just-
away.
Not just teabaggers, though. But when we talk about what's going on right now, we talk about ISIS, and we talk about Al Qaeda, and we talk about foreign wars. Those sort of things on the right side are also
That's not
ways
the
that
right
we-
side. Don't even say.
Not anymore. Not anymore. You're right.
Why is
You're right.
Okay, not anymore.
no, but I'm
How
telling-
not back then in Vietnam?
No. Let me finish.
Where was the
Let me-
Vietnam War
Let me
started?
make a point. You're not really.
Who
talking,
started
you're
World
not,
War
You're
II?
not talking. to the
Who
point.
started World War
You're
One?
right, but you're not
Democrats.
talking to the point I'm talking. We're talking about schemes to get elected, and it seems to be a major.
Well, here.
Let me say what I'm going to say.
I just
for
want
a second. Let me finish my thought.
Okay,
That's fine. Let me
Go
finish my
ahead.
thought.
Go ahead. Go
When
ahead.
we talk about the Democrats using promising people that are impoverished material gains by getting elected, by giving them things, what Republicans do is say, hey, if you don't elect us, those squirmy Democrats, those
Yeah.
anti-war Democrats,
I feel that.
are going to make this country less safe.
Yeah,
By
I feel
electing
that.
us, we're going to make you safe. And the point I'm making here, this has nothing to do with the individual. Yes, Democrats have gone to war before. That's obvious. That's not the point I'm making. That's irrelevant. That's obvious.
Sure.
What I'm saying is, when it comes to getting elected, when you don't have a populace that's actually paying attention to policy and what the policy of these candidates means, what you have are candidates and politicians that just appeal to our base emotions. What are you going to give me, or are you going to make me safe?
And that's why the majority of women vote Democrat.
And that's why a lot of white men vote Republican. Now, that's the kind of issue we get right now, because that's everything's just playing with our emotions.
See,
right now.
and
We're not-
that's what I hate.
And to Brendan's point he was making, okay, that I'll jump on as well. We can't keep spending trillions of dollars on war from
Yes.
the fear illusion that we're making this country safer, and we can't spend trillions of dollars on welfare
Exactly.
as well either, because now
We agree.
we're over $18 trillion in debt from those
We
two
need to stop spending
fears.
We have to quit spending money.
Well, we have
wrong
we have to be honest with the taxpayer. Two, we've been on this failed system of progressive income tax where you're charged more because you make more. There should be a citizenship fee.
Oh, man.
And I've told somebody this, and they're like, "Well, that's not fair because why should somebody making more money pay the same amount as me?" That's the worst attitude to have in this country. You're a citizen of this country, regardless of what you do with your life. You should pay the same citizenship fee.
I would disagree with that.
There's certain, because when I see that over a quarter of my money is taken out every single week,
And that's okay.
and that's something that I guess we all sign up for involuntarily because that's the job
That's
system.
not involuntary. I mean, did you go to a public school or did you go to a private school?
I went to public school for
You went to a
the
public
later
school.
years.
Most of us went to public school. Do you get mail?
Do you get mail?
Do you get
occasionally?
mail? Do you drive on roads?
I do drive on roads.
You do drive on roads?
Yes.
Do you protest the wars overseas?
I don't. I don't.
The only
like,
thing that
out-
applies to
I'm just saying all
the
of those
male
things.
part not caring about
well,
it.
the point is, those taxes go somewhere.
Sure, they all do.
And
Yes.
if we are against paying taxes, we need to start paying
I don't
attention
against
to those
paying
things.
taxes.
That's
I
what I'm
totally
saying about
understand the system for
citizenship
that.
fee as opposed to a progressive income tax. You're an American citizen. The person that is,
But I
rich
get that,
is
but here's-
receiving the same
no,
mail
but they're
and
not
being
receiving the
protected.
same benefits. Some like a company that hires.
But no, they're actually paying for everybody else's subsidies.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me make my point. A company that hires 30,000 people is the recipient of each one of those individuals 12 years of public education. So if somebody
Oh.
no, stop. Let me finish.
No, come on,
Yes,
Brendon.
they are though.
But they're also providing those 12 years of education people jobs. Who else is
But
providing?
what
fair,
I'm
though,
saying is
to say
they
each-
wouldn't be able to hire those people unless there was a system that brought those people up and educated them in a certain way where they could be a benefit to them. The fact that I could do basic math made it where I could be hired as a cashier coming out of high school.
I don't know.
Now, without
Should
those,
be able to do basic math without a K through 12 education system in these times.
To be fair, I don't think it's fair to do a blank statement of saying each of these employees are going to be someone who the government has trained, basically, by giving them.
the government. What I'm saying is,
Kevin, you are completely
your
silent about all
education
this.
process from the time you went to kindergarten to the time you graduated was a system.
You didn't learn that. Somebody else made that happen.
No,
That's what
you
you're
did,
saying.
but somebody else did make that happen, though.
Yeah, someone else did.
Someone else did make that happen.
I was in private
But
school
how do
since
you?
sixth
We
grade.
went. You go through 12 years of education. You spend,
And that's
a
too much
certain amount-
time.
That's
That's too much time.
whatever it may be. But the point I'm making is that
That's
the
enough time.
But the government is
Too
responsible.
much time.
For
That's
that.
why you have bad
The
behavior in
government
high
is
school.
responsible for that. Now, here's the thing, though. The majority of this country has received an education or was given an education. Now, the opposite of that,
And they're not smart enough to start their own 401ks or retirement
that's not
plans
the
aside
point.
from
That's
government.
not the point.
That's not a good
That's a
education.
completely different
Okay, wait,
subject.
wait,
Yes, we
alright,
should have
let's-
finance classes in high
And we
school.
do.
yeah, sure.
We do have finance
They
classes in
need
high
to be
school.
much
They
better.
need to be much
Need
better than
much-
No, actually,
They need to be
people need to
better.
take their
Yes.
own interests
No,
at heart when
no,
they're
wait,
adults.
Bullshit. No.
that's it.
The economic class that I had in high school did not train me for
They
what.
didn't talk about credit
No,
cards.
exactly.
They taught you how
None
to
of
write
that.
a check,
None
which
of
is
that.
completely obsolete.
Ancient knowledge that they are not trained for the
Yeah.
current generation.
But hey, that K through 12, that same K through
Yeah.
12 education, that's what he's talking about. That you need to
What
pay
I'm
for in
saying
taxes.
is
Math
what
is great,
makes you
yeah.
what makes you understand the history of this country, what makes you understand math and English,
Which is
and
constantly
literature,
being
and
revised.
the humanities. That's fine. Those are other points.
They
but
did
we
not
all are all
train us.
recipients of that, and people who are business owners use that education to make profits.
No,
Yes,
they
they
do not.
do.
They use
Anytime
people's
you
interests to
hire
make
somebody
profits.
that is capable and can work in a civilized way, they are somebody that has used the
And
public
these
system
poor
in order to get
employers,
that way.
these poor employers have a pool where they do hire these people that you're
Prior-
talking about.
here's the thing,
Okay.
prior-
And they
I was
fire
at
them
the point,
because they suck.
If we didn't have a public education system and we just allowed people to do whatever they want, you're saying that parents would be responsible enough to educate their
Oh,
children
no,
in today's
no,
society? Absolutely
no,
not. That's just a given. They're
There's-
not. You would have people
Parents
who
are
are
not responsible.
complete heathens running around. The public education system doesn't just act as a mechanism to educate
You have
people.
complete
Let me finish what I'm
heathens
saying.
running
And
around the
also,
public education
You do,
system,
you
for
do,
sure.
but without it, it also
It
has
would be
to
the same thing.
No, it wouldn't.
It's
It-
becoming
it
more and
would
more
not.
the same
No.
thing.
No, it
no.
wouldn't. Could you imagine the people you have out there now that now barely make it out of high school
Sure.
if they never had to go to school at all?
Oh, no.
They would never be productive members of
I
society in
agree.
any certain way, in any way possible.
Yeah, definitely.
So
It's
the
up
point,
to the kid.
But what I'm
There's
saying-
kids out there, regardless of
That's
whether
so
adult.
ridiculous.
The environment
We're
is
social creatures. I mean,
Oh.
Yeah,
there's,
definitely. No, we
there's
are.
certain things that
There's a lot of kids that don't like schooling just because of
It's
the
not a
social
perfect system.
animosity.
It's not a perfect system.
It's
because
not right.
Nothing is perfect.
And
for
then
each
just like it's
individual.
not a perfect bill, but
Of
we
course.
needed to pass it anyway.
But
Yes,
the point
exactly.
is,
It's
back
a
to the-
lame ass
That's
compromise.
why it's
to the-
majority.
back
It's
to
not
the
100%. It's
Exactly, and that's the downfall of democracy.
Back to
It's
the
not a
point.
majority. It's not a
nothing is
perfect
perfect.
system.
Nothing.
But
Back to
we're
the
going to take
point.
people's individual interests.
I want to know. I want to go backtrack. What you're trying to get at with government funding schools and then
Government funding
for
schools.
business?
What's good for business is if you can imagine a system where the government didn't educate people and there wasn't something. People are mandated to go to school. You don't have a choice to go to school. Everyone has to go to school up until high school, and then they can drop out. So the government is responsible for educating the populace. Now, we all, or at least we agree, that if that system wasn't there, you'd have a lot of uneducated people. Stop. Let me make my point. You'd have a lot of
more than right now.
Yeah, you can make the point after. There would be a lot of uneducated people. What I'm saying is that businesses use that pool of educated people to their advantage because they then get to use them in their workforce and they get to create profits, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can put you on a
Okay.
cash register. They can put you out on a sales floor.
Mm-hmm.
They can put you
in a
Assembly
factory
line.
they
making
can put you in a
goods.
factory.
Yeah,
They can put you in all
yeah,
kinds of
yeah.
things where you're communicating with people and your ability, and not only
That you learn all these skills you learn
no.
when you're on the job.
Okay.
But not only that, you also learn to work with other people when
Yeah.
you go to high school
Yeah.
and you go to
Talk,
middle school
interact.
and talk and interact. Those sort
Work
of
together.
work
As if you
together.
didn't go to school, you would just throw shit out.
No, you
Not
wouldn't.
necessarily,
No, not
no.
necessarily, but it wouldn't be the same.
Sure.
It would
You
not
just
be
throw
the same.
piss out.
It would be
No,
Mad
it
Max
wouldn't be
style.
the same. I mean, this is really getting to the heart of what you're saying, and I think that's why you're so antagonistic to it. But businesses get to use people that have been educated by public funds to their advantage.
It's not public funds; it's taxpayer funds.
Public
It's-
funds is taxpayer funds.
Yeah.
Public funds.
And it's
your money
your-
when it goes
your
to the
wealthy
government is
1%
public
funds.
funds. When your money goes to the government, that's supposed to work for you and for society.
And let me just bring it full circle real quick. If people paid the same individual fee, you would be a shit ton more concerned about where your money's going. You'd be a shit ton more concerned about how those schools are being ran as opposed to what it is right now.
So my argument from how this kind of already started was over about a quarter of my money is given to every paycheck. How much is given out of...
That's given to the federal government.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some of the money from the federal government goes to states and municipalities. Yep. You have sales taxes here in Florida that go to the state and municipalities. And if you have property here in Florida, that goes to the state and municipalities.
So someone who makes $10,000, how much of their money?
It would still be the same fee. It's
motivated. 25%. If someone makes $10,000, they're probably paying Social Security. And
they actually get money back.
They usually get money back if they paid any federal income taxes. The only thing they have to pay into is Social Security. After you get to a certain point, you start paying federal income taxes.
So I think that's fair.
It is fair. Now, the point I was making is that the reason people who make more money should pay more, business owners, is because they're benefiting more from a society that is the product of public funds.
Sure.
Now that's why.
Does the society?
Why should they?
Does the society not benefit from entrepreneurs?
They do.
Businesses
all benefit
that actually do what
they do too.
We benefit.
And they are doing.
Yeah,
we all benefit.
So why are they taxed more?
Why? No,
when they
not
put
taxed
more
more.
into
They're taxed equal. They're
not taxed equal.
They are taxed
at the same percentage.
The same percentage.
They're not
exactly.
They're taxed at more of a percentage if they're more successful.
No,
they are.
We're talking about 10%. You're talking what you're talking about is a flat fee that
it's not just the percentage. It's the amount of money that I make.
Here's the thing: if you're saying you make $15,000 a year, you pay a $5,000 citizenship fee, and somebody who makes $1 million a year pays a $5,000 citizenship fee.
No, that would be
that's
insane.
absurd.
That's absurd. Why? Why do you favor somebody that is doing as everybody else?
This money.
And you're penalizing somebody that can do better.
They're doing better. Someone's making $15,000 a year. Someone's making $1 million a year. If they're both paying 35% or 30%,
it's not a percentage.
They should be helping out the bank.
If someone makes $1 million a year and they're paying 30% of their fees, and they're making $700,000 a year, where someone makes $15,000 and isn't paying any taxes, I'd much rather be the guy making $700,000 a year. I am not disincentivized.
You're not in the shoes of the person that's making $750,000.
I'm not disincentivized to not try to keep creating because I'm being taxed that. I still want to keep creating because that's a shit ton of money, and I'm pretty fucking happy. I'm not to say that somehow we're penalizing these people.
No.
Seems like some sort of propaganda that's been passed down to us by the rich to say we want to pay less taxes and we're supposed to just buy it.
But they're still paying more. They could pay at a lower rate, but they're still paying more actual money.
Absolutely,
there is
and
so much.
There is
so much more than just the individual.
People that produce from their
own.
What
country could this fantasy world that you conjure up? Where has it ever worked, and where has anyone ever done it with any success?
I'll tell you where it's not working. It's not working in this country.
It is working in this country
because we have fake money.
People not wanting to help.
We have people in the government and the Federal Reserve just printing fake money.
It's all fake money.
That's a bigger problem.
It's never not fake money.
Exactly.
Though. That's the problem. You say they're printing fake money. They're always printing fake money.
Every country.
It always is fake money. It never was anything real. It's always just what we consider it to be worth.
But for what? Because they want a certain group of people that can pay more to pay more. And they want to have this.
In this country, people have always been. It's always been that way, though. It's never been any different.
No, it's been different before 1917. It was different, and then they changed it.
Because in 1917, because we had the Great Depression. That was
in the 1930s. The Federal Reserve came in 1917.
World War I.
No, what you're talking
1917 was World War I and the Federal Reserve.
But you're talking about the introduction of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the Gilded Ages, you're talking about the 1920s, where you didn't have a lot of policies that helped the poor in this country, and a lot of the policies, in fact, were favored for the rich, and that's what we call the 1920s the Gilded Age. And then what happened? You had a Great Depression. So this fantasy world where you talk about where we just let the rich do what they want, and there's nothing to help the middle class to empower them.
The middle class. How did the middle class even come about? The middle class came after World War II. The middle class didn't come from
what happened after World War
what they're
II?
trying.
What happened after World War II? Though?
A lot of scientists came from
but
actually
in the
during
1930s,
World War
we had the
II.
creation of the Social Security system.
No,
we had
that's not what caused it. It
But
was
no,
the
no, no, no,
miniaturization of industry.
What I'm talking about, that's we
Yeah,
had
that's what it
policies
was.
created by the United States government, and we had government interference in the economy that created a middle class.
That's not what
happened.
created a middle class.
That's what happened.
That's not what created a middle
we had
class
tax
at all.
policies. What was the tax? Let's look up. Kevin, can you look at the tax brackets in 1950 real quick? Please look at the tax brackets in 1950 after World
It
War
was
II.
the top
we'll do
1%
that,
paid
and
about 90% of their
Exactly. You can just
money
look
in
that up.
taxes.
Let's verify that real quick.
But
Now,
then
when
there
we
was a
look
lot of
when we-
loopholes
when
at
we
the
look
same
When
time.
we look at the golden ages of this country,
Okay.
50s, 60s, going into the 70s, that's when this country was at its peak. We just finished World War II. We had a
Yeah.
strong middle class.
I think
we
that
were building cars.
the
we were
end of
building
its peak.
jets.
Yeah, and who
We
was
had
the people with all the
Can you tell-
technology
can you tell me what the
to
tax
build all
rate
this
was at
stuff?
that time?
Just
Can you
simply
tell me what the
us.
tax rate-
Everybody else was at
I
war
think, yeah,
or in a Cold War.
We would be
And what
we
happened
were,
in the 1980s when this country started to the
No,
middle
you're
class
right.
started to
You're right. That was when we can fairly say that we were the main power
Exactly.
of the global war. We
Actually,
were
no,
the big boys.
there's between the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and up until the 80s.
I would say up to
there
the
was
80s,
two
yes.
main superpowers in this world.
Yep. The Soviet Union and the United States.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what I'm asking you is during the heyday of this country, when people talk about this country needs to get back to what it used to be, Was people
working their ass off.
This country was what it used to be when people were working their ass off and they were incentivized to create. What was the tax bracket at the time? You already admitted it.
Yeah.
The top 1% paid 90% of the taxes. So for
But
you,
was
for
there as
anyone-
much government programs at the time as there is now?
Yeah, there
No,
absolutely
no.
was.
Okay, there
What
was
was our
more in the
defense budget?
60s.
What was our
Let's look
defense
at the
budget at the
60s.
time?
Did things start going downhill from the 60s as far as the ballooning debt in this country? And compound it from the 60s until now, meaning
Most
the
of that
Great
was
Society.
war spending, though.
No, most of that was the Great Society.
Most of that was
My initial
Kevin, did you find
instincts.
something?
I did.
Kevin's not feeling any of this. He hasn't said
Oh, okay.
anything.
No, I'm just happy, Brendon.
I already said it, right.
No, I'm serious. I'm happy. You two are getting out there. I don't need to speak. I mean, people hear me every day on my freaking video games. No, I see something for 1951 and 1963. It says higher taxes, lower revenues, and it says lowest and highest tax rates. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lower revenues.
lowest-
What is the top?
What was the highest revenues is going off the model that's been in
The
place
highest
since
revenues, I
Reagan.
think, was after Clinton.
It just showed it real quick from
But the
19
model was based after.
I can
Right, you
continue.
say that, but Clinton had the highest revenues.
I can
And
But
continue.
the highest revenues
Well,
are right
so-
now.
Let's just
So
make,
wait,
I want to make a point. We had
by,
a surplus.
By saying Reagan and by saying Clinton, are you guys fighting for your parties there?
No,
Well, no, what's happening is
because Clinton
We're
is
talking
just
about
an
policy.
after effect of Reagan.
that's what he's saying. But here's the thing: I want you guys to answer this. All right, so you had Reagan. All right,
Okay.
we had deficits. Clinton comes in, we have a surplus. We had Reagan, then we had Bush.
Who was
And
the
this-
speakers of the
no,
House
that doesn't matter.
that control
Stop.
the purse strings?
Yeah, but the executive
Tip
branch,
O'Neill.
the executive branch releases
And then
the
Newt
budget.
Gingrich.
They control the purse strings, but the presidency, the executive branch.
What
is
was
up
the
to-
vote on
Stop.
Obama's budget?
Okay.
Stop! You're
0 to 90 something.
You're throwing a bunch
Let's
of fodder
finish
out
the
there.
point.
You're
Let's wrap
throwing
up
a
here.
bunch of fodder out there to take away from this point I'm about to make, because you know what I'm going to say. Under Reagan and the Bush, we had deficits. Under Clinton, we had surpluses. Surpluses were then squandered under the Bush administration, and then
On
continued
wars,
since
mostly.
Then. On wars, mostly. No, on a tax cut as well. A tax cut when we didn't cut spending. We cut taxes.
No, we
but
got
didn't
more
cut
in
spending.
revenues, though. We did get more in revenues after the tax cuts. It's not that we lost money from not having those tax cuts. No, there was even more money coming in to the revenues from the tax
For a
cuts.
year or two, and then it
No,
stopped.
it's still going
No,
on
it
to this
didn't.
day.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
I read the
All right, guys.
statistics.
All right,
For the
guys.
first 2 years, we had increased revenue, and then after that, it started to decrease.
We have the highest revenue right
I'm
now
gonna have to call
from those
an
same
audible
tax
here.
cuts.
Call an audible here. We could go on for hours.
I gotta take a leak.
This
Yeah.
I was hoping to avoid that, but we'll just move on. This commercial break was brought to you by Colt 45. Enjoy a nice 32-ounce Colt 45 for $2. I couldn't recommend it anymore. It's about 4 beers in one glorious bottle. It's a good drink. I enjoy it quite a bit. Premium malt liquor.
Excellent.
I highly recommend it.
I couldn't really find anything on the fly there. Just to finish.
That was a nice
argument.
heated debate, and I like that. And which was the debate, but it was more of a just a
conversation.
Nice heated conversation.
Without doing a lot of research before going into this topic, just typing in 1950s tax. What was it? Tax. I got it right here. Tax. What I searched for was 1950s tax brackets. That's what I looked for.
Yeah.
And the only thing that came up, it said it showed tax revenue between 1951 to 1963.
See, that's not what we're looking. We're not looking at revenue. We're looking at what because we have a graduated scale of what people pay in taxes based on the revenue. So the more money you make, the more you pay.
Yeah.
And in the 50s, the top 1%, top 10% paid a huge amount of taxes.
Yeah, that's what it showed. It showed 90% was the high.
90% was the high for the top 1%.
And 20% was
so that's
the
the
low.
point I'm making, is that with Alex here, I'm not going to argue it without him because obviously he would have a counterpoint. But the point I'm making is that increased tax revenue for the wealth creators in this country has not hindered the ability of this country to do well.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, during those times, we were at our most powerful and our strongest. And because, not necessarily because we had higher tax brackets, but because we had a strong middle class. And we had policies that supported the middle class.
All right, so we're going to move on to our picks now.
There wasn't any resolution to that.
we no,
There
there's
isn't any
perfect.
resolution. We're not economists. All we have
We,
is...
But
we will,
What are economists, all right?
we're going to have many conversations. We will get
Before we get to the picks,
all right,
because there's one topic that I had, one of my two topics.
Kevin's serious now.
No.
Brendon's back.
Yeah, I'm alive still. I have no real intuitiveness into politics, so I kind of stayed out of that. But there's one thing I felt was, even I thought was dumb, so you can call this the all fracked up story of the week.
Okay, great. Welcome back.
Yeah. Do either of you follow State Department spokesman Spokeswoman Mary Harf?
Yes.
Did either of you hear what she said
She's
yesterday?
got those hipster framed glasses.
Yes. Did you see what she said yesterday?
I sure did.
Yes. Did you see what she said yesterday?
No, I didn't see
The plan to deal with ISIS in her eyes is not to continue to kill ISIS.
Not to bomb them.
It's to create jobs.
That's right, for ISIS.
That's ridiculous.
If ISIS has jobs,
Oh, I'm going to actually...
she says to kill the ISIS leaders.
I'm going to explain what she's getting at.
Let him explain, Kevin, so you can finally understand what I'm dealing with here.
The issue with ISIS is that when we went into Iraq, we had an issue in Iraq where you had Shiites and Sunnis. The Sunnis were in control of the country. All right? Sunnis, represented by Saddam Hussein, controlled the country and to a certain extent kept the Shiites in the country down. When we went into Iraq, we disrupted that system. All right? So you had the Sunnis and the Shiites beginning to fight each other. And we did this process called de-Baathification. De-Baathification is Saddam Hussein's party was the Ba'athist party. And the Baathists started to disperse. We tried to create a coalition government. It didn't work. You had civil war, fighting. Terrorists moved in, or what we call terrorists, fighters, Islamists, whatever it is. They took the fertile battleground of Iraq and they took it as their own to exploit the chaos. And they did what they did. So that's where this whole shit show began. And that's just what it is. That's where this shit show began. We went into Iraq for no fucking reason whatsoever. We said they had nuclear weapons.
We went to Iraq to help the Saudis.
We went there to help the Saudis when the Saudis were ultimately responsible for 9/11. So, what, 17 or 15 of the 20?
I think 21.
21. No,
The
majority of the
majority,
hijackers were Saudi. We know this, but we don't talk about that because the Saudis have oil. Thank you, Saudi Arabia, for $2.40 gas. That's why we don't go after the Saudis. So,
Yeah, and they basically destroyed our oil industry currently right now, flooding the market with cheap gas because they can produce it at cheaper prices.
But we will be okay with that because it took away revenue from Iran, Russia, and Venezuela. A lot of people say that Cuba, the reason that we've opened up relations with Cuba is because they were the main benefactor of Venezuelan oil, because Venezuela propped up the Cuban government with oil money. When Saudi Arabia flooded the market with oil became cheap. Venezuela could no longer support Cuba the way they were. Cuba saw this as something that they're going to have to deal with, so they buddied up with the United States.
Saudi Arabia is trying to win the Middle East risk.
That's what the point. Yeah, but with an American... See, Saudi Arabia is a big country with a lot of different factors in it. Some hate us, some are for us. We're getting away from the subject. Now, Iraq... these Baathists that dispersed during this civil war that Iraq was having, or this war among differing factions, the Sunnis and the Shiites, have now come back to haunt us by forming these Islamist groups like ISIS. Now, a lot of these people in ISIS are former Baathists. They have connections to the Ba'athist Party. These people never went away. So now we're dealing with this. We have a region that is a power vacuum, and these groups keep coming up. It doesn't matter what it is. It's always something.
Doesn't matter whether it's us invading Iraq or the Arab Spring that we promoted as well.
It doesn't. No, there's always an issue there. So I think when we're talking about what the spokesman was talking about, not killing ISIS leaders, the problem, it's like hitting.
She's getting to Mitt Romney's point that he mentioned at the Clinton Global Initiative that people didn't vote for Romney for because he was, a really rich guy that truly didn't deserve it.
So the thing that we see now is that game at the carnival or the arcade where you're bopping the thing and another head comes up and you bop it again. And Whack-a-mole. This is what we're dealing with right now.
That's in Mexico.
The problem is that there's a fertile ground there of unrest, and there isn't a stable situation for people to express themselves in other ways but violence. And I think what the spokesman is getting at by making this point,
spokeswoman, she is a woman.
Spokeswoman
Respect
is getting at is that you may kill a leader of ISIS. But what do we do after that? The problem is there's
Hydra,
another one comes up, and that's the issue we have there. And the main way you deal ISIS ain't a Hydra, but another group will come up that will fill that power.
All right.
Well, let me. I'm gonna
finish it up. Come on, Brendon. I want to get to my point.
I'm gonna finish it up.
I'll let you finish, but Beyonce had the best music.
But Beyonce had the best beheaded video of 2015.
I think what the spokeswoman is getting at is that by educating these people, we want to instill a democracy. That's what we
don't know nothing.
We know what you can say. We don't know anything about democracy, but we want to install a democracy among people that don't know what it is to be in a democracy. Being in a democracy means informed voters that can do something that's in their best interest and understand what's going on.
Like this country.
You have people that are living in a way that is completely foreign to how we live, with no history of education like we have about democratic values. They are ruled by Islamist law, and we're expecting to go over there and just be like, "Hey guys, here's democracy, change." It's not going to happen. So the best way to do that is to create jobs. People have money, and then they get an education, and generations down the road, there's progress that's built from the ground up. Now that's what she's getting at, because otherwise, all we're going to have.
Well, that's what George W. Bush was getting at when he went into the.
Is that why we just left Iraq and did nothing with it?
Well, George
Obama
W. Bush didn't leave Iraq.
So what did we do with Iraq afterwards?
We rebuilt in that country.
We created a government that completely didn't represent the people of the country.
That government had a hard time working with the president after Bush.
How did we instill democratic values in this country? What did we do? It's impossible. From the get-go, it was impossible.
Yeah, sure it is. You mentioned the Sunnis and the Shiites, right?
Yep.
Are we fair
Who
to say
are
that they
the
should
most
listen to
prevalent people that are fighting ISIS right now? It's neither the Sunnis or the Shiites.
Kurds.
It's the Kurds, absolutely. Who are joining the Kurds in their battle? Israel, the Netherlands, there's like a complete open voluntary army to fight ISIS aside from the United States.
Well, let's just make a point.
From our vacuum that we left.
The Shiites and the
that
Shiites
we
and the
said
Sunnis,
that we had a timetable that we planned on leaving.
All right, let's make a point about ISIS real quick. ISIS primarily operates in Syria and to some extent Libya right now. Iraq is still dealing with the Shiites and the Sunnis fighting each other. ISIS is going to move back down into Iraq or move into Iraq.
What came first, the Arab Spring or ISIS?
Or the chicken or the egg?
They were kind of the
No,
same time.
Arab Spring came before ISIS.
No, in
before
the
the Arab Spring,
in the news
there was Al-Qaeda.
No, these are all just names and labels we use. There were fighters in Syria at the same time
there
as
was
the Arab Spring.
confused fighters.
And the news, how we understand it, absolutely. ISIS
that didn't
came
like
after
the
Arab
monarchies
Spring.
in their
But
countries
there was
or
fighting
the
going on in
dictatorships.
Syria at the paralleled the same time that there was an Arab Spring in Egypt. There's no doubt about it. That's just not the names of these groups don't matter. That's the point. We call them ISIS. It's just a marketing technique so that we can rally support to fight over there. ISIS, whatever it is, ISIL, Islamic State in the Was it
So, Kev, you think that new
The Leviathan. The Lenthian or something like that.
Exactly.
It's not the Leviathan, it's something else.
It's something similar to that.
Yeah.
Or the
saw Astro
the
too.
ISIS or the Islamic State in Syria, whatever it may be. It's just a name.
Levian.
The point is Levian. That's it.
pretty
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
Walking
Now-
Dead. How's Walking Dead?
So
It's
the issue, guys.
We don't need crosstalk on this microphone.
Everyone here disagreed with the fact that she said that, but
Hey, well, I was pissing.
But here's the thing. What,
I did not give my
we
opinion.
attack ISIS,
No, she's
and something
she's
else comes up.
talking
it doesn't
about
matter what it is. I think
she's
that's
sticking
what
up
she's
for
pointing
bad
out.
policy from her administration.
That's no. I think she's
No
just,
different
that's
than the
just
press
thoughtful
secretary.
Policy.
That's-
It's not.
she's
it's
no different
thoughtful
than a press
policy.
secretary.
This is exactly what I was getting at earlier when we talk about feeling secure in this country. We want to feel like we're safe. That our country's out there protecting us, so they're
Yeah.
going to go out and get
That's
all
why
the
we
bad
didn't have
guys.
a difference of opinion on drones.
There's hundreds of millions, a billion people in the Middle East. Now, in this region that there's a complete vacuum in where there's no power structure whatsoever, what's taken over is Islamist law.
Okay.
That's what's taken over. Now, we can't defeat that. We can't beat that.
But-
we can't.
Why do we need to?
No.
That's the
here's-
point. But that's the point she's making.
Okay.
If we educate these people and they get jobs,
That's the
and
wrong view.
That's now whether or not that's going to work. I think that's what she's.
No,
getting at. I'm
it's not
agreeing
just
with
on
that.
her viewpoint. It's not why do we need to. It's this. Islamic law is pretty much taken over the complete Middle East. People want to downplay anything
That's
Islamic law because it might trigger the wrong emotions and say, well, those are the same people that blew up our towers. Those are the same people that did this or that. Those are the same people we're fighting against overseas. Problem with Islam in its own nature is that it wants to conquer.
Yeah.
It's not a religion of peace
No, I agree.
whatsoever. It wants
That's
to conquer.
That's an interpretation of
It's
it.
not an interpretation.
But here's
It's
the
an
thing, let's just make
interpretation
a
of history.
The majority. No, you're right. I don't disagree with you. But what I'm
And
going to say
saying
is
why we
there's
should
varying
bother with
degrees
that,
of it. There's
we need
varying
to neuter it.
There's varying degrees of it. Like right now with ISIS, you have Jordan, United Arab Emirates, you have Egypt, you have Israel, you have Saudi Arabia,
And those
You
are
have
all
countries
monarchies
that
of
are
Islam.
Yeah, but what I'm
except
saying, but
Israel.
they all use Islamic law, but they're fighting this expansionist Islamist terrorist group. So they're not all expansionist. Now ISIS is expansionist.
Well, the
But
problem
they're
is
not
now,
all. But when you say something like Islamic law is
The pro- well,
expansionist,
it's
in and of
Sharia
itself,
law, yeah.
Sharia law. There's an element of expansionism in it, but they're all countries that adhere to.
but it
are
doesn't matter. It's not
expansionists.
just in the Middle East anymore. It's in little pockets here and there, everywhere around the world. It's not that it's just in the Middle East. It's in London in many places. It's in many other countries in Europe in many places.
That's easy to
some,
get rid of,
Some
though.
places. No, it's not easy
Yes,
because
it is.
we.
Quit telling
It's
them
in
to
New
quit wearing
York
your burqas.
City.
Quit telling them you can't wear your burqas.
No, you can't tell them that because it's politically
but
incorrect.
that's how you fix it.
But it's not being
You
fixed
don't wear your
in our
burqas.
biggest city
your
in
laws
America.
Your
It's not
laws
being
mean
fixed.
nothing. Our laws supersede your laws. We have to stand.
They
up.
plan
You're
on
right.
building a victory tower next to the towers that they destroyed.
You know who supported that too? An interesting little fact here. The main supporter of
Probably
the
George W. Bush.
the Islamic mosque, well, one of his good friends, one of the princes in Saudi Arabia, one of the major princes, was one of the major financiers of the mosque. That's going to be right about 9/11, the 9/11 memorial. He also was a majority owner in Fox News.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, a bunch of fascists.
The
Support fascists.
Republican talking piece was owned by the same guy who's building a mosque next to 9/11 that has also been fingered by a man in jail right now as one of the main financiers of Al Qaeda during the early Bin Laden
And
years.
who even cares
And
about Al
Afghanistan.
Qaeda anymore? Because all we're talking about is ISIS.
Well, Al Qaeda.
Yeah, it's all- it's the
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's all the
It's
same
a
thing. It's just different pockets. But
Pointing
getting back to our
fingers.
main point about what the spokeswoman was saying, she's saying we can kill these.
She's a
leaders.
dipshit. She's
not
a
a dipshit.
poser that wears framed hipster
That may be
glasses.
the
That's a
case.
dipshit.
That may be the case, but what she's getting at is that you can't beat these people with weapons.
She's
What's
getting
gonna
around
drop
this
a
point.
nuclear
I agree.
weapon on the region?
Violence is not the answer.
It's not. It's just that you can't. It's not. You can't just take out the leaders. The problem is that you have you have mold growing in the walls, and you're trying to fucking clean off the outside. Outside.
That's
The mold is in
Ayn
the
Rand's
walls.
point
Sure.
when she did an interview with Donahue back in like the late 70s, and she was asked about what does she think about Islam in the Middle East right now. She's like, they're all just filthy bunch of animals.
I think I was gonna say maybe this is like out of context.
Go ahead, Kevin. We want to hear it.
You're keeping this.
Well, the only reason was because a lot of the country, a lot of the world, not the country, a lot of the world has this perspective of America as we are always entering their country. We have this military base. We have a military base in South Korea. I'm sure we have many of them in the Middle East. They have this perception of us as being North Korea. Obviously, they have a whole fucking North Korea is the best country in the world because they have their own propaganda going on. But like their media outlets portray us as probably they should fear us because we have all these military just invading all these territories and everything.
That's the point of the Soviet Union or
it-
Russia.
yeah.
Today's Russia.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. How do we know this is
Not all
what
of
we think
Russia.
of? This is gonna be the stupidest thing ever. Okay, this is what I was gonna say earlier on. This is gonna be the stupidest sounding thing ever. But there's a guy. There's like the Food Channel. Like I said, he goes around the world. I can't think of the name of the channel, but he goes around the world.
No reservations,
yes.
Anthony Bourdain.
He goes and eats all this.
I don't think that's a food channel.
No,
It's travel. It's National
Travel
Geographic.
Travel
because
Channel.
he goes all over the world, and they keep one of the only episodes I saw. He went to the Middle East and he had all this different food, and these families accepted him, and he was doing things wrong, like outside of their normals. Like a man, like these were territories where men were not allowed to cook. The women were supposed to cook, and he's in there trying to cook.
Yeah,
he's-
because they're still in the 13th century.
Yeah.
Oh, my point being though,
But
they're
we have
accepting.
to-
They're very nice people. Like, but we portray them like I know we're talking about ISIS, but we're at the same time we
Not
portray
everybody's
as
the Middle East.
Is that?
yeah, exactly. It's the
Well,
same-
you're talking
yeah.
about from a family and
Yeah.
respect standpoint.
And that's like I said, that's who we are. That's who we are trying to save is the families, and the
Yeah.
families actually are very good people. We're like they don't need to be saved. It's these politics, like it's the Islamic agenda. It's their own political agenda of what they're trying to push. In my opinion, it's all like it's,
That people would say the more radicals of the Islamic
Yeah.
State, yeah. But the problem is nobody from the Islamic religion has checked whatsoever what these Islamic people are doing.
Well, that's not in Egypt. I mean,
That's anywhere in the Middle East.
The
In
Arabs-
Tunisia, in Egypt, in Libya, anywhere in the Middle East where the Arab Spring sprung up, 12 countries, nothing was checked. It was actually just, there was a lot of destruction.
All right.
And the United States State Department at that time was saying this was a great thing happening in the Middle East. This instability in the Middle East was a great thing for everyone.
Well, let's first off, it
and in
wasn't.
hindsight,
That's
it
what
wasn't.
you say when it isn't a great thing, though. You always say it's a great thing because in fact,
No,
you might be a main
man.
benefactor of the situation. I mean, I would say that it wouldn't be to the benefit of the United States or Israel or Europe to have independent Middle Eastern or independent Middle Eastern nations that are doing what they want, because we benefit from the fact that they are not stable by getting a major resource there. That's what we benefit from, the fact they're constantly.
We proved we can get our own in our own country.
We can't, but we've talked about this before. It's not just about our country. You're a market kind of guy. Oil's traded on a market, and the more oil on the market, the cheaper it is. If the United States is producing oil, we're not getting it from the Middle East. China, India, and Europe still need it, and the main places those countries get oil from is from the Middle East. Now, if the Middle East wasn't producing oil, that means that
And Canada.
our companies here in Canada and the United States will be shipping that oil overseas as well as here, because they're going to make the most money from it. It's not about this country when it comes to ExxonMobil and all the different oil companies in this country. They're here to make money. So if they're not getting their oil overseas from the Middle East, you better believe they're going to be getting it from America. It's going to increase demand, and oil is going to go up. So it doesn't matter if we're producing oil here or not.
It does
doesn't-
matter because
it does
at
matter.
least
It
we
helps.
know geopolitically we have our own resources
but
on
if
lock.
oil was only being produced here and nowhere else, except say the Middle East, that it completely shut down in the Middle East, oil would be so expensive it would crash the world economy. So that's just common sense. So that's not really a point of contention. We can't fight over that. We can't fight
I have
over
a
that.
disagreement to that because if there's enough of a supply, meeting the demand wherever it's coming from, then the economy can keep on rolling.
Yeah, no, but the price of oil would be a huge deal. I mean, if oil got up to $5, $6,
Saudi Arabia just
gallon,
proved. Saudi Arabia just proved when we and Canada were making so much oil compared to Saudi Arabia and Russia and the rest of
Yeah, but
OPEC.
they
Are like, okay, we'll just produce it for a cheaper price, the same cheaper price that we could have been making it prior to. But since we were put on the spot from you guys' production, we'll overflow the markets with even cheaper
we're
oil.
producing the majority now. The United States is, and Canada's up there as well. But Venezuela,
Venezuela might turn.
UAE,
Venezuela.
Saudi Arabia, all these countries produce a good majority of the world.
Last
oil.
election,
It's not like
Venezuela
the
was
United
like
States
50-51%
The Uni-
to people that were either going to be supportive of OPEC or supportive of
that may
North
be the case,
America.
but what I'm saying is the producing oil just in the northern hemisphere of North America or of the Americas is not enough to make up for the amount of oil that's needed. In the world.
Well, we just need to
It's
change
just
our
not.
foreign
It's just
policy
not.
around. We
It's
just need
just
to change
not.
our
That's
foreign
the point
policy
we're
around
making.
where we don't care nothing about Europe,
I
Asia,
agree with you
or
on that.
Africa. We care about the
I agree
Americas,
with you on that.
and we'll do
But
what
we
we want
can't
from
do
there.
that.
But we can't do that
It's
because
a market. How are you going to do that? How can you
owns certain parts of
how can you
Argentina.
How can you espouse market ideals, but at the same time say they're going to make our companies just support? That's
Because
fascism.
markets-
Is
because
that
markets and
is that- what is
geopolitical
that
things-
Fascism? So is that fascism? What if the United States
Well,
asked the
what
oil
other
companies in this
current
country,
alternatives are there?
But you're advocating fascism right now.
I'm advocating what's first of all in our general interests, in our best interests of geopolitical interests.
So did Nazi Germany and Mussolini's Italy.
Okay.
That was their same argument too.
Sure, yeah.
So-
but that's always
it's
the
a-
constant
it's a
argument,
super-
whether it's the Cold War between freedom-loving countries and communist countries. It's current argument now
We
between
need
countries
oil
that
in
are
the Middle East.
unstable.
We need the oil. The
And
oil
we
in
can
the Middle
produce
East is
the oil.
needed. We've always needed
And we
oil
have
in
produced
Middle
the
East.
oil.
We still produce oil, but it's not enough. We need the oil in the Middle East. We benefit from the fact that it's an unstable region by being able to do pretty much whatever the fuck we want in there. If we allowed a stable democratic regime to actually come up, that
It would
had
even
the
make
oil
cheaper
wealth they-
oil.
the-
If
For
there's
them,
more
though,
stability,
for them, though.
and it's for everybody. If they're making cheaper oil, everybody has cheaper oil.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the oil. It's costing us $1 trillion in warfare.
Okay, that's I kind of lost track there, guys, but I love it. We will continue this.
We'll talk about it
political-
more later.
Yeah,
But I never
it's-
made my point.
What point? No,
Kevin was trying to make on ISIS, and then Brendon brought it
Oh,
up.
we are so far gone.
All right,
Go
so
ahead.
all right, yeah, thank you for hearing me out, Kevin. Brendon was talking about, well, you know, we invaded Iraq.
No rebuttal, Brendon. Just let it go.
I waited for you to make your
You
point.
did, I'll make it.
Okay, I'll wait for you to make
I'll
your
be
point.
quiet.
All right, you want to blame not that you wanted to blame Bush, but you wanted to say, hey, you know, we invaded Iraq, we made it unstable. Sure, especially when we invaded any area, it's going to be unstable because of warfare, and that's what people just need to understand. You want stability instead of destruction anywhere in the world. But Saddam Hussein himself was just a very dirty dictator when it came to killing hundreds of thousands of his own people, came to effing around the UN and the US about the oil for food program and all that. Hey, listen to me here. Listen to me here. We basically won a war in Iraq. All right, we did. Even when.
And what did we get out of it? We got an unstable
We
region
did
that we're
just-
still fighting in.
But here's the problem. After we won a war in Iraq, we were going to have a drawdown of troops for about 2 to 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
We basically told everybody. We told Al Qaeda primarily, our biggest worry at the time.
Were we supposed to stay
and
there
we were fighting
indefinitely?
Iran. No, it's not that we were supposed to stay
We're
there
supposed to invade
indefinitely.
the country and build
No,
Walmarts?
no.
What are we supposed to do?
We were supposed
we
to
won the war.
not
That's what you
mention-
do. You win a war, you leave. That's what happens.
We don't-
won. We're gone. Thank you. We didn't win if when we leave that they're still fighting. That's not winning. That's not winning.
People understood that we still have bases in Germany from after World War II. We still have bases in Korea after the Korean War. We still have bases in
We're not
Southeast
fighting them. We're
Asia.
not shooting.
fighting
We're not.
them.
But here's the
We-
problem.
we-
We made a public address that we will leave for the betterment of our own country as much as we possibly can for better political gains with the leaders of Iraq and everybody else at the same time promoting this Arab Spring that were just nothing but a bunch of terrorists that want to overthrow our current allies at the time. Mubarak was a current ally at the time. What's his name? President, the dictator of Libya. I can't believe I forget his name. What's his name? You forgot his name? Gaddafi. Overthrew him. It was a great, good, nice thing that we overthrew the dictators as far as PR goes. No, that was a bad thing because we funneled weapons to the ISIS and ISIL and all of that.
Because we can't support democracy overseas, but then when people try to promote themselves, say you can't do it. It's completely hypocritical.
It's hypocritical. But we shouldn't have done it. We shouldn't have supported the Arab Spring. We shouldn't have addressed of a huge draw down of troops. All right. Saying we were doing it for the betterment of these ISIL and ISIS.
Al obviously need a complete separate political podcast, so we can let everything air out between you two.
I gotta take a
What I gotta say before you leave, Alex.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, the final thing for politics is when you two run, which obviously, you both have that, what you think's wrong, what you think, you both have, you're not on the same page perspective,
we are.
But you are, but you're not, okay?
They have the similar ideas, and that's
so
party systems.
all you guys need to know is that when you had the Fractal Mind Super PAC backing you two in 2016,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
We know this.
That's all you need to know.
Let's make this happen.
Shit's gonna happen in 2016.
This is a startup. This is a startup super pack.
Kickstart the Super PAC. Indiegogo this. All right. Well, Al, do you want to go to the restroom and we'll start our picks?
I want to know what we're going to eat tonight.
We'll get there.
We're going
Sure.
there. Man. So we're going into our picks.
Yeah, man. We're going to the picks.
I had my pick. Let me think about it. Go ahead and do it.
We'll do the circle like we always do. We start with the coast of Fractal Minds, and we end with the Fractal Minds.
All right, cool. That works.
I'm going to start with my pick. I'm going to go with Horns. That was the movie that I watched the other night. Horns is based off of a book by Joe Hill, who is the son of Stephen King. The Stephen King.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yes, the novelist, the famous novelist that everyone knows of. Joe Hill has written 3 books and a couple short stories. Horns is his second book, and the story is of a man named Ig, and he has recently been broken up by his long-term girlfriend, and that very same night she winds up being dead. She's found dead.
Oh.
And after this event, he wakes up a couple of nights later, and mysterious horns have grown on his forehead, and everyone in town starts being more of their bad side to him. They start telling their true feelings towards him and everything else that's going on in their lives. And the mystery of who killed the girlfriend, everyone thinks it was Ig, the main protagonist.
Iggy Azalea?
Yes. Not Iggy Azalea. But yeah, it's a great little story that goes on with the horns aspect of it. He basically is turning into a demon, and it's a very interesting story that I enjoyed a lot. The book was amazing, and the movie did a great job of retelling that story in a very faithful way. I was very nervous about the movie after seeing the trailer. The trailer was not pretty impressive. It made it look like it was going to butcher the original story of the book, and after watching it, I was very impressed. The main actor in it is Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. He is the main actor in the story, so it's a very good movie. I highly recommend it. It's Horns.
I walked by it while you were watching it. It looked really demonic.
Yes, it is very demonic. If you're not into
it's not up my
demons
alley.
and heaven kind of stuff, it's not up your alley. But also, there's like a rock and roll aspect to it. It's cool. Very cool aspects in it. Go ahead, Brendon.
Yeah, something I watched recently, and is my pick, is Gone Girl.
Ooh!
Which was released on DVD and on demand.
It's like the opposing viewpoint of 50 Shades of Grey.
Gone Girl.
It's like 50 Shades of Grey respects when you tie up women, Gone Girl, not so much.
There's some tying up in Gone Girl.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's an excellent movie. It was directed by David Fincher, who did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Ooh.
And is also a producer and directed, I think, the first episode of House of
House of
Cards.
Cards, and that was actually something that Netflix did on purpose. Was they saw a correlation between people who watched the House of Cards BBC show and fans of Kevin Spacey and David Fincher.
Yeah, that's actually
Fun fact.
Did not know that. Also, David Fincher, I think, did Fight Club.
I was going to bring up Fight Club.
Can't not mention Fight
Great
Club.
director.
Fight Club is
But,
not better than The Double, though. Even though the two story
What?
plots of The Double and Fight Club are the same.
What?
The Double is
The
much
Double?
better than Fight
It's a
Club.
new movie based on Dostoevsky.
Fight Club's a classic.
Fight Club's a classic, but if you watch The Double and Fight Club, you can see the correlations.
Okay.
You can obviously see that Fight Club was kind of based off The Double.
Wait, when did Double come out?
It was just last year.
Yeah, but it's based off a book.
Oh, based
on
off
a
the
book. It's based on a book.
When did the Double come out? The book.
The book came out in like the
18.
1800s.
Yeah.
Oh,
Late
wow.
1800s.
Interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Russian literature is the truest
Ah,
genius.
okay. Now the truth comes out.
To humanity.
Okay, all right.
Really
Check
is.
this out.
Yeah.
Is that your pick?
What?
The Double?
I mentioned The Double last week, I think, but yeah, sure, I'll mention. I
What's
mentioned
your
it
pick?
in like topics.
Sorry,
Real
were you done with your
quick,
pick?
real quick. Gone Girl is
Oh,
about
sorry.
a man who goes to work, is having what seems like some trouble with his relationship. Comes home, his wife is gone. The wife has disappeared, and now he is accused of the crime. And you have a media
Very similar to
circus
Horns.
that revolves around. It's very similar to Horns. That revolves around the disappearance of his wife and what kind of person he is. The main character in the movie is Ben Affleck.
I thought
And
this was
it
about
has-
Scott Peterson.
No.
No?
So there's a lot of twists and turns in the movie,
Yeah.
and it's very, very, very interesting. And if you've ever seen a David Fincher movie, any of the movies or the shows,
There was some mixed buzz about this movie.
It was. I enjoyed it. It's a long
Cool.
movie,
Yeah.
but it's well worth it.
I'm down to see it. We want to see that.
Check it out.
Cool. Alex, you got a pick for us?
Let Kevin go.
Sports
Let's think
fans,
about-
huh?
Sports.
Is this? Are we talking about grinders here?
Yeah, we're getting there.
If
We're getting there.
hungry, but
Very
you want me to go first, I have it ready of mine. So if you want me to go first,
No, yeah, you go ahead, Kevin.
My pick will be just Amazon Prime.
Nice.
I wasn't really it's hard for me. I was a Netflix person for a while, and I got out of Netflix. I wouldn't really watch anything but YouTube for a while, and I signed up for Amazon because we were dying to see The Walking Dead, and we had to find some kind of TV provider because we don't have.
We could have got an Xbox.
Well, Xbox videos, yeah, true. Well, they had 30 day free. Everything has that. Netflix, and it just turned out something right.
Amazon Prime had a trial.
Amazon Prime, yep, they had a trial. And the main reason behind me saying that my pick is because so far watching Alpha House, that's been an excellent satire comedy about
I liked
about Republicans.
I've
Alex
watched
and
the
I-
finales and they're great.
both.
Only
James
the
has watched
finales.
both finales. Alex and I have watched everything, both seasons all the way through, and their third season they have not announced yet. So hopefully it comes back. But John Goodman,
One of the producers is Jonathan Alter, and I still like the show. BTW, Brendon.
Gil John Biggs is my favorite character.
Yeah, because he plays like a freaking Walter character from
Yeah.
The Big Lebowski.
Gil John Biggs is playing by
John Goodman.
yeah. What were you saying,
We
Joe?
also saw the other show that we just watched, Roche.
I was gonna say Bosch, I think
Bosch.
Bosch. Yep, that's a new one that
Basketball player?
it just premiered on February 13th. It's a Amazon exclusive. It's kind of like a detective. It's kind of what you see like on the CBS and all that, where they have CSIs and NYPD Blue. They have all that kind of crap. Well, this is more gritty. You hear the F-bomb a few times. It's definitely not something made for just television. It's a gritty. Based on an author, I wish I had the author's
Michael
name.
Conley.
Michael Conley. It's based on his books. It's basically following a detective who seems to be hated by. He used to be a special forces person in the military. Now he's a detective for Los Angeles.
Wars.
Yep, for the Hollywood division of the Hollywood LA division of the police department. He's a detective, and he's hated basically by them.
Well, it opens on a crime where he's tracking down a suspect, and the suspect he corners the suspect, and the suspect is kneeling down, and eventually he
Holds a gun, or it looks like it.
looks like he's pulling a gun, and our main protagonist shoots him.
Yeah, we killed him. So now he's in the middle of this
Court.
He's in the middle of this court hearing, and so we only watched the first episode today. It was to put it short, so I don't get caught up in it. It would have been very easy to get lost and do another season like we did with Alpha House, where we just kind of just started watching. Because that's the great thing about Netflix and Amazon is that, all right, here's the season
Binge.
all in one. Just
Binge watching.
all 12 episodes all in one shot.
House of Cards did that. You guys did Alpha House.
Mm-hmm.
Great supporting actors in this show. That's very important to the show. Is not just having a strong main character, but you have to have a good supporting cast. And not a lot of known-named people, but we did have a few characters where we're like, oh, that guy, and just very small, little-time actors, but still nice to see familiar faces.
Give me 1 second, I'll get the main actor.
Titus Weaver.
Titus Weaver, there you go. Yep.
He was the Man in Black in Lost, and he's also a character in Sons of Anarchy during, I want to say, the 4th season, probably also the 3rd season.
Yep.
Alex, do you have a pick for us, or are you done?
You know what?
I was just saying, just to finalize, Amazon, the reason I gave my pick is because they made 2 great TV shows that are easy to watch. And just,
At least.
Yeah, they're at least, So
delve into.
there's a transvestite thing that they've got that I have yet to delve into, but I'm afraid to, so.
That looks pretty good.
Yep.
Looks very similar to Orange is the New Black in a similar way because
Yeah.
of the more female.
And Alpha House is like Netflix's
House of
of Cards, but it's more comedy.
Cool.
I really like gyms. All right, keeps people fit.
Okay.
Promotes, good.
Yeah,
physical,
it keeps you healthy, keeps you fit, keeps
It
you on a
encourages
better
community,
diet.
too.
Nah, F community.
The group showers?
No, there's
Don't
some
you
group
enjoy-
showers. There's partitions in between the showers.
Are
all
you
right?
sure? Because you told me you saw a lot of male dongs since you joined this gym.
Yeah, that's without the partitions in the locker room. All
You
right,
enjoy
that's
that, right?
old people.
Yeah,
That's the
old people don't care.
They don't.
They
care at
don't
all.
because they want you to be disgusted.
Look at my balls there.
Yeah,
touching the floor.
these balls are getting Social Security. You're not going to, and you still have to see these balls. That's pretty much old people. But I like gyms because it's not. If you're working out, it's not for community. It's for your own individual aspirations.
To
all
look
right?
good for
Other
Somebody else,
individuals.
which is part of your community.
No. Somebody
you.
that's somebody else that will be part of your union if you're lucky one day.
Yeah, I like that union. I like these.
Oh, you sickos! No, but still, it's still one being. So I win.
One.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah,
Cool.
gyms are great.
You promote good physical.
I promote gyms. Gyms
Alright,
are nice.
Very nice. Well, I guess that brings us to our grinds. My grind is cats getting into heat. It is horrible. It is the worst thing in the world when the cat gets in the heat that you're living with. Right, Kevin?
What?
Cats getting in the heat? That's my grind.
I can understand that.
Once you open up your door to go make yourself a bagel in the morning, there's a cat presenting itself, and
It's not even asking for a bagel.
For you to go make a bagel, because mine will just sit there and purr outside my door.
she knows. She knows like 30 minutes before you wake up somehow that he's about to give it up. I should get ready and
guys.
warm
We
up
gotta
for
go
you.
to Chili's.
We're not going to Chili.
It's 9:36. Where else are we gonna go?
That's the only
And Rib
place.
City's out, basically.
Yeah,
No,
Rips,
go ahead.
everywhere else is out.
The
Yeah.
grind's not over yet, though.
No, my grind's over. I'm not.
Right,
grinding.
with the
grind,
I'm
Brendan.
not grinding.
I gotta go to Chili's. We got a
Are these
reservation.
people who keep watching these ISIS decapitation?
Oh,
And
20, what was the latest one? 26 Americans or something like
They
that?
burned 41 people alive.
41, yeah.
And before that was 26 Christians
Beheaded.
beheaded. I don't know who's watching these videos. I think they're disgusting, and it's just giving power to this group. The fact that we keep being disgusted,
Gives it attention.
by these people, giving them attention, and putting it all over the front pages of our newspapers. They're really benefiting from this stuff, and we could really do a service to the world and this country and the people in the region by not ignoring what's going on, but stop paying such close attention to exactly what they're doing.
It's a harsh enough term to ignore it. You don't want to ignore other people's propaganda. You basically neutralize them when they basically see there's no view counts on this.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gives loses their power.
Damn it, I had a grind, and I just lost it now. Okay, here's my grind. Old dudes in the men's gym locker room.
Oh, God.
That's just disgusting. It really is. What my biggest grind about it is there's dads that have their kids run into the gym locker room
Really?
while just because there's at the gym I go to there's like a little daycare center for the kids while the adults are.
Do they have like little mini gyms in there where the kids
it's just a daycare center where kids are playing around with their little toys while their parents are working out. Well, anyway, here's my grind about it. These kids run in to see their parents, and there's these old freaking dudes naked. It's disgusting. They should have better courtesy.
Yeah.
But these old people don't have courtesy because they're entitled. These baby boomer dicks waving around in the gym. Your turn, Kevin.
My grind's gonna seem different compared to comparison to yours.
Baby dicks. That's what they are.
Only he would know.
I remember half of my grind, but the other, it's the general census of it. Basically, my grind is tech, and James is gonna understand me more than you two will because it has to do with technology.
Because we're ignorant to technology.
Not technology,
Actually,
but
he's
you're
a
not.
typewriter.
You two are not into like an achievement
The Pony
war like
Express.
he and I are. Okay,
We're allergic to Wi-Fi here. On
You probably
this,
are. You
this
probably have a
side.
rash
We
going
have
under that
Wi-Fi
long sleeve
sense.
shirt right now. But no, because we're in the middle of achievement war, heated achievement war, where James is by all accounts beating me.
Woo!
And one of the things I was trying to do is streak, an achievement a day, which is just an
Naked?
achievement in a video game. What?
No naked part. Of
You said you were trying to streak.
I was trying to do a streak.
Streak.
Consecutive amount of days to get an achievement.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you like that? You like that instead of streak?
Gosh,
Like,
I was
the
thinking you
long
were no
form
different
of it
than one of
instead
these old people at the gym.
Yeah. But no, basically in the middle of one of the achievements I was trying to do to keep my consecutive days running with a streak award.
Naked.
I'll go with that. I'll make sure I emphasize what I'm saying.
Naked.
I was trying to get one of my achievements, and basically technology failed me because I was trying to get this achievement, and it was my 7th straight day with an achievement, but the game froze. It crashed, basically, and it was like 10 minutes before the day ended. There was no way. It was going to take longer than 10 minutes to get the achievement. So basically, I lost out on my 7th day straight of achievement because the game froze and locked up. It was like I got home from work, and I had 30 minutes to get this done, but I didn't, go straight to the game. I did whatever. But yeah, my grind would be the technology failing when I need it the most.
It's funny that you say that because I'm all for this digital future that we're going to inevitably be into. Because before, as you all can see, I'm a big collector of physical media.
Yep.
I have a lot of DVDs and games, and I love having that. But the era that we're in with Netflix, where we can just stream a movie now, I don't have to go out and buy the movie so I can have my collection when we want to watch it. Netflix just has the movies.
Yep.
But when the internet fails us, when we're trying to watch show, we try to watch a show at least 5 times in either the TV crashed or the internet crashed.
Yep, that was today. Yeah, just today we tried watching it.
We're ready for this digital future, but it's not ready for
What's
us.
causing it to crash?
We don't know. We don't know
Not
if it's... We have one of the best internets you can possibly have without it being Comcast.
Yes.
Basically. Like there's Comcast and we're right beneath Comcast. Like we have the best. We have a business class internet. I don't know if we should name the brand.
No, you
But-
shouldn't.
Yeah.
We should
But
just
we
go
have a
to
business class internet. Business class is fucking great, okay? And by all accounts, most of it, if we upload something to YouTube, it takes 15 minutes. And it's like, that's an hour-long video, almost. But to add on to that, because you reminded me what it was, another thing to add on with that, the grind of mine was just that basically when I was trying to get an achievement, TrueAchievements.com, they only count achievements that are done while you're logged into Xbox Live, and there was an achievement that I got when the Xbox, it failed, it crashed, it didn't crash, but Xbox Live just signed off on my Xbox, and I got an achievement that was worth quite a bit of gamer score, and it didn't account for it. Like, my gamer score tag, like, it counts for it, but TrueAchievements.com will not account for it because there's no timestamp for it, because it was not done while I was online. Because online crashed when I got the achievement. That was just to add
Make
on.
sure it's authentic.
Yep.
I
I have
That's like
another
good.
grind.
Huh?
No, one grind per episode.
I'm hungry. Let's eat.
All right, fair enough. Well, very thankful to the Fractal Minds crew.
Thank you
here
for joining us
another
both again.
Successful video podcast. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Closing thoughts. Glad we started the political conversations. But
I have a closing thought.
we might need to get a buzzer in there. But thank you guys. That was
Be a
very
lot of
nice.
buzzers.
I really appreciate it. We'll Kevin, what you got?
When we were streaming on Twitch last night with Minecraft, we had some people following us, and we were talking to them as we were playing Minecraft on Twitch.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yep, thank you very much for the support. There were actually quite a few of them. They were telling us not to stop when we were 5 hours in. We're like, we're done, and they were like, don't stop, please. And we're like, we have to go. We have to
want
go.
to join us.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're quitting.
But there was a few of them when we mentioned politics. They were interested. One of them in particular, he said he's into politics. He wanted to know what kind of politics we were in, and unfortunately, I could not answer him because I'm not into politics. So
we have
hopefully,
a wide spectrum today.
we'll make sure that we tag him or her into this. Like there was like a good. I don't know if you guys realized, you guys talked for 60 minutes on politics. So
Like the TV show 60 Minutes
we'll make sure.
that talks about politics.
Hey, we should make a new show.
Yeah,
Okay?
politics.
We should call it 60 Minutes.
61
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
There you go. But so we should hopefully that should answer their question and see what two viewpoints that you two have. Maybe we'll see if we get any commentary from it.
Both sides of the spectrum, though, they should be satisfied one way or the other.
There you go. So it'll be very fun to see that.
Well, thank you, everybody. This is Fractal Minds coming from sunny Southwest Florida, signing out. Until next time.
Bye.
Das Vidania.
Guten Tag.
All right, let's eat.